All right, guys.
Hi, everyone. Hello. I've got Melody and Corey here with me.
Hi.
Hello.
We're all here ready to hang out and sew with you. I'm Bethany with CutterPillar, and we are starting day one or part one of our 3-part series, Sew Along, for a Riley Blake Sew Along kit. So if you bought the kit to make this beautiful table runner, you're in the right place. If you missed out on the kit because it is sold out, then please stay and hang out with us. Ask questions. We're going to be sharing a lot of sewing tips. So, you're welcome to follow along, take notes for your own sewing projects. We're going to be sharing a lot of sewing tips, but this is what we're making. There's 2 sides. I folded it in half. It's so cute. And we're going to walk you through all the steps from start to finish. And we're so happy that you're here. So please let us know if you're got the kit, if you're sewing along with us, you're hanging out with us, please say hi. You guys know, I'm going to point this way. You guys know Melody. And you might recognize Corey as well from Linda's, but I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Well, I'm Melody here from CutterPillar. Guys, this is the first time I'm not in the office studio. This is the first time I'm here with you all in my house. I built a little space in the house that my mother used to sew in all the time. And we set it aside to do this. And finally, I got some stuff set up, and it's not perfect yet. It's not set up how it needs to be quite yet, but I'm really excited that I'm here doing it from home. I didn't have to drive out. I didn't have to go outside today. It's all like cold and stuff here in Utah. So I didn't have to do any of that. So I'm really excited, and I'm way behind on this kit. I'm hoping there's a bunch of you way behind as I am with all of my travels and crazy that's been going on. Yet. Well, I mean, I know, but like I saw in the CutterPillar's Creation Hub, I hope you saw too. They're like, my stuff's cut. I'm ready to go. And I'm so proud of everyone who did that. But I'm really excited. This is going to be so fun.
Yeah, we're actually going to walk through the cutting today a little bit and make sure everybody's got that understood, because there's a lot of pieces in this one. But Corey, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I am Corey Pearson from Linda's, and if you've ever seen any of my videos before on our channel, you can tell I am not in my normal spot. Like Melody and Bethany, I am at home. However, I'm at my parents' house in Houston because I am still traveling after the Houston International Quilt Market and Festival. I have some classes down here, so I didn't feel like driving home to drive back down. So I took over their front room and made myself a sewing studio. My dad put up some tables, and I'm so excited to be here with you. And this is going to be so much fun. I'm really happy.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yay, supportive parents to let you take over their room and make it your studio. I love it.
It's my home place. So this is my Houston studio. Yes.
Yeah. Sounds like it's not your first time doing that. I love it.
No.
Okay. Well, we've got quite a few of you sewing along with us. Linda wants to know, how long will today be? Linda, your guess is as good as mine, but probably at least an hour. But we can get a little chatty sometimes. And with your questions, any questions that you guys have, please put them in the chat and we'll answer them. So that will also kind of gauge our time. But we'll try to get through as much as we can to set you up for success for part 2, which is happening on Friday. And then the final part is happening next Wednesday. I gave you a little more of a gap between Friday and Wednesday and a whole weekend to kind of get caught up and everything, because today we're cutting. We're prepping, and my goal is to start piecing one block so you can see what that looks like. Then Friday, we'll finish piecing, and then we'll take all of our blocks and put them together and do our border. My goal is by Friday that we'll have our entire quilt top done. If not, that's okay. Okay, Corey gave me these big eyebrows just a second ago. And then when I said that, and then come Wednesday, so if you want to watch and like piece it all together over the weekend and into next week, come Wednesday, we'll make our quilt sandwich. Corey and I are going to talk about different ways to quilt it. and we're going to go through the steps for binding. So by the end of Wednesday, you have all the information you need to finish it. If you don't finish it on Wednesday, that's okay, but you'll have all the information you need to. So a lot of people kind of watch and take notes, and then they'll sew later and watch the replay, which, by the way, you'll be able to watch the replay of this at any point. It will live on our YouTube channel, just like our sew along from the summer lives on our YouTube channel. And so, yeah, we're going to jump in just a second. But Melody, I'm going to let you talk about Fall Fest for a quick second, because I want to make sure we talk about our CutterPillar sale that's going on, if that's okay with you.
Please. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. There's a few things that we need to talk about. We need to remind you all of. Fall Fest is still going on. We decided to extend it. We were having so much fun with it. We did it a little bit differently. Like, we do promos and different features and stuff like that a lot, but we did this one a little bit differently in that all of our Fall Fest packages are based on a particular craft. I don't have everything here in my home studio, so I don't know if Bethany can pull the website up or not, but we have an applique bundle. We have an embroidery package, not bundles. We're calling them packages for Fall Fest so that they're a little bit different. And applique package, an embroidery package, a sewer's package, a paper crafting package, a traveling package, and an all-in package that are all on sale. And the best part about the Fall Fest packages are that you get free gifts. And that is not something that we've ever done. Now, for those of you that caught our lives last week, we talked about how you have to add the free gifts to your shopping cart. We have fixed that problem, and you no longer need to do that. So don't worry about that. They will just come along. They will show up in your shopping cart automatically now. But what you guys get, I do have right here, because I'm so still excited about them. We have these, they all just fell out, but we have these fat quarter bundle bags. These are the, you guys, you can store your fat quarters inside these bundle bags. And you can do that. You can store your, these are the fat quarters that I got in Houston, but you can store your thread boxes, your fat quarters, your projects that you're working on. You can put your rulers in here. And depending on which package you decide to get, you can either get a fat quarter bundle bag, 2 fat quarter bundle bags, 3 fat quarter bundle bags, or 5 fat quarter bundle bags if you guys go all in and get all of the stuff at once. It's a great time to stock up on stuff. If you need to get your all-in package because you haven't done that yet, the 5 fat quarter bundle bags that you get with it, just imagine, like, your Christmas shopping for all your quilty friends is done. Like, how fun is that? Like, they can all have fat quarter bundle bags. Corey mentioned he's still at the Houston show. I was there 10 days and I thought was enough for me. I had to get out of Houston. I'm very impressed that you're still in Houston for that. But we had customers from the Quilt Festival come up to us at the end of the show and be like, I need to buy something because I need that fat quarter bundle bag because I'm going on a retreat with all my friends and we're all bringing our projects in the fat quarter bundle bags. So anyway, that is what's happening right now. Fall Fest is going on. We're super excited about that. So make sure that you check that out. If you just go to the main page of CutterPillar, you click the banner on Fall Fest, it will take you there. So check all of those bundles out. We'll be talking about some of the products that were specific products as we go along with our sew along here, but that's where you go find the Fall Fest stuff. And then I'm going to put a little plug in for our next sew along, even though it's a little bit early. I need to put a plug in because our kits for our next sew along they're selling fast, guys. They're selling really fast. We do still have some left. Our next sew along is November. What's the date, Bethany? Do you remember?
November 12th. Sorry, I was pulling up. Linda wants to know, can you buy the fat quarter bundle bag alone? And yes, you can. It is one of our deals. So you can get the bag by itself, or if you buy one of our Fall Fest deal bundles, you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those bags for free, depending on the bundle you're getting.
And there's a secret, guys. There's a little bit of a secret for the fat quarter bundle bags. If you put it into your cart, you put 2 of them in your cart and you'll get a little surprise that one of them is going to be for free. So put 2. If you're getting a fat quarter bundle bag, put 2 in your cart.
Buy one, get one free. Who doesn't love a BOGO? And I just want to say a little side note here, like fine print. It's the bag, not the fat quarter
Yes.
bundles in the bag. That's
No,
Melody's pretty fabric. She's not going to give that away.
I had to fight people for some of these fat quarter bundles. Bethany was there. She was there at Sample Spree. We had to fight people for the fat quarter bundles we wanted. So no, the fat quarter bundles are staying with me. But the bags, yes.
But the bags are like perfect for storing them or taking your projects or storing your project that we're sewing along today in those bags and keeping it organized. And every time you start a new project, that can be like your special bag for storing all your pieces. I'm going to show you what I did for today's sew along, and I'm going to swap my camera over here. Here we go. All right, so I cut out all the pieces for today's sew along, and this is the box that it came in. And we're going to talk about all the pieces, but here's all my pieces labeled with all my extra fabric underneath, which I'll talk about in a minute. But you can, like, if you don't use little Post-its and to keep all your little quilting pieces organized, but this is, I love these boxes that these kits came in. This one and their November one that Melody was talking about. They come in really nice boxes to keep all of the pieces nice and organized. So as soon as you cut it, just stick it in. So I'm leaving pieces in here until we're ready to use them so they don't wander off. But any questions before we jump into prepping fabric and cutting fabric? And Melody and Corey, please feel free to ask questions or share your thoughts and advice and tips as well. But I want to start off by saying that this is a very scrappy looking finished project. As you can see here, it's very scrappy and fun. There's a lot of busy prints, which is fun. It's a very forgiving project for that very reason, right? Like, not all of my points line up perfectly, and that's okay. I had fun making it, and I think it's pretty, and that's all that matters. So remember in the last sew along, we're not striving for perfection, but completion and learning things as we go. Because the more we practice, the better it gets. And even after all my years of sewing, and Corey can probably attest to this too, nothing's ever perfect. We're working with fabric, okay? Like, isn't that the truth?
Never perfect.
Corey?
It's never perfect, ever. Even the one I'm working on mine right now, and I'm still, when we get to the fussy cutting, you guys are going to laugh at me, but we'll get there. Go ahead.
Hey, I almost made the same mistake, and we're going to talk about it. But yes, it is stunning, stunning fabric. And you guys are laughing at me because I said stunning like 10,000 times in my little promo video during the Handmade Collective talking about this kit. But I don't have another adjective for it. Like,
it's the perfect adjective for it.
But it's like the only one that seems to fit. So we're going to talk about all of this. And because there are quite a few pieces to cut out. So last time we did a sew along, Corey, after you weren't a part of our sew along this summer, and it was another Riley Blake kit, and it came with like the charm packs. So it was a lot less cutting. I know we had to kind of cut them down, but our pieces were kind of pre-cut for us and everything, which was really nice. And this time we just had fabric in the bundle, and we're cutting all of these pieces. And so I'm actually going to switch to my overhead camera. So in your instructions, and I like to go through these, and I want you to have these near you as we go through it, and keep these near you at all times as we complete this project. Because while I'm talking about some of these things, you can follow along, because there may be some terminology or things that you're like, I didn't know what that meant, but now I do, because you're seeing it here and we're talking about it. If anything in here confuses you, please raise your hand and let us know. Put the question in the chat. There is plenty of room here within the instructions for you to write and take notes, which I encourage you to do, or have a notepad to take some notes that you want to use for other projects in the future, because you're going to learn a lot. But right here, we're going to be making, to start out, we're going to be making 4 of these star blocks. Okay, we're going to be making 4 of these. So what's nice about making 4 of them is the repetition. The more we do, the better and easier it is. But there's a lot of pieces and a lot of fun colors in here, as you can see. But it's solids here, so it looks like a lot, but it's very much busy prints. Okay, like, here's one of those blocks right here. Very forgiving, busy prints. Okay, so don't get too hung up on it. And we're going to go through this cut list real quick, and we're going to talk about all of these pieces. And we're going to start with A. We're going to start with A. And if you look at the little diagram right here, it has a picture of the block, and then it has all of the letters to identify which letter is which piece. Now, some people had messaged me, and I think Melody had even asked me this the other day. And Melody, I never sent you a picture. I'm so sorry. I went to bed at like 8 o'clock last night. So
we've had a week already, guys. We've had a week here at CutterPillar. We've had a week.
So
we've been busy. We've been crazy, but that's good.
I chose sleep. I'm sorry. But anyways, so we have this picture right here. And I will tell you, when I looked at this picture and I looked at all of the prints, I wasn't 100% sure which one was which. And that's where I flipped over to the front and kind of used this one as more of a reference guide, since it shows the prints a little bit better. It's a solid block. So I'm going to show you which prints I cut for each one, but we're going to start out with A, and A is this center block right here. And that center block is this beautiful fabric. And this is the fussy cutting. And this is the part where if you look at the picture on the front, if you look at this picture, I'm going the wrong way. If you look at this little square, it looks like the little house that's in the center of this square. That looks like you're cutting a diamond, like you're cutting it at a 45-degree angle, but you're not. You're actually cutting it square and level, and we're adding these white pieces to the corners of that square to make it look like a diamond. Okay. So I had to take a minute to look at this myself when I first made it, because I made one already. And I had to go, okay, I'm cutting the square like this, and then we're going to add these pieces to make it look like this diamond shape. Okay, so I don't need to cut it at an angle. I need to cut it square on. And honestly, it took me reading ahead in the instructions right here to figure that out. Actually, right here. It's right. This is the first step that we do. We build our blocks from the inside out. And so I looked at this and I was like, oh no, it does need to be cut square, because I almost cut it at a diagonal.
What a genius idea, Bethany, to read the instructions.
To read the instructions. Now,
as you can see, I did not read the instructions. And so I cut them all on a diagonal, which is fine. They end up kind of rocking back and forth in the table runner. But who would have thought to read the instructions ahead of time?
And you know what? I'm glad that you shared that, because it is fine. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's going to make yours a little more fun and festive. And with how busy these prints are when it comes together, you'll probably never even notice, right? Truthfully, that they're like.
So, since you read ahead, Bethany, I have a question. Since you read ahead, and I haven't read any, I just saw Corey lift his fabric up, and he's fussy cutting the design that he wanted in the center of the squares out of whatever part of the fabric, right? Do we need this fabric again? Like, does it matter where we cut this?
Okay, that's a great question. So let's talk about that real quick. You're going to go through this list. I literally just had this. You're going to go through this list, and you're going to cut A through J just right here. And that's going to build the 4 blocks. That is not going to do your border. And the border is a very scrappy border that we add around those blocks after we piece them all together. So whatever scrap fabric you have left over after cutting all of your pieces, and there were some prints that I didn't have really enough left over to add into my scrappy border, and then there were some that I had extra. So whatever you have left over is what will, and I didn't even cut those out yet. I didn't cut out my border pieces, and I didn't cut out my binding yet, because I only wanted to have my block pieces ready for today and Friday. Friday, we will piece together the border. Everybody's border may look a little different depending on how you cut out your pieces. You may have more green than red, or red than green, and that's okay. You're just going to piece it together. There was like a gray, this like grayish one. This fabric right here is not in the blocks. It's just in the border. Based on the photo. Now, if you chose to cut it out to put into your block, that's fine. You just won't have that for as much for your border, and you may have extra of something else. Again, you can rearrange this, but within reason, because they only gave you so much fabric. So I try to get you to stick to, and I'm going to go through all the pieces and show you which print I picked for each one, and it works. I've already made it once and I had some extra, but if you did a little different, that's fine too. Or if you have another Christmas fabric you decided to work into it that matches, because I mean, it's kind of just Christmas colors really, that's fine too.
Right.
I have plenty of Christmas fabric in my sewing room that I could throw in if I needed to, but you should have plenty to do the table runner and possibly one extra block to make a pillow.
A pillow. That's what I love about Christmas fabric. Like there's always sort of stuff that matches. All the colors of Christmas kind of match.
I know. Yeah. No, it's so easy to kind of mix and match. And we had someone, Marcy, who was at my sewing retreat last week. She was cutting out her kit at the retreat and she made a little mistake because she was too busy chatting and having fun and got distracted. I'll call it out. There she is. So the fabric I cut wrong, I could probably fit into my border. Yes, Marcy, probably so. So I would go pull that back out, but she ended up working in another Christmas fabric she had for the pieces that she miscut. So again, it's totally fine. And she shared a picture in our CutterPillar Creations Hub Facebook group today, and it's a really cute fabric. I actually really like it. All right, so let's talk about fussy cutting this, and then we'll go into all the pieces, but let's start with A. And as you see here, A is our most obvious print here with our directional, beautiful little wreaths with all the different designs. And I'm going to grab my ruler. And I like to use a friction pen, but you can use a fabric wash away pen, whatever fabric marker you want to use. I've got a square ruler, and I am really bad at visuals when I'm trying to center something. So this is me helping myself not mess up. And so I took masking tape. I have really cheap masking tape, so it doesn't leave a residue. But if you have like painter's tape or washi tape, put that along the 5" by 5" because these blocks are 5" by 5", these center ones. And we need to cut 4, but technically you want to cut 5 if you're going to make one extra block for a pillow. Okay. So I tell you that because the first time I made this, I cut 4, and the way I cut it, I didn't have enough scrap to make a whole 5th block for my pillow because I was picking things that I wanted based on where they were on the fabric, but you can only go so close to them. So I kind of messed myself up on that one, which is fine. I have enough. I know better now. This is why I make one in advance, so I can work through my problems to help you guys not have the same problems. Sorry, Corey. So I use masking tape or some sort of tape to mark out my 5" by 5". And then you're not going to be able to see this on camera. You might be able to a little bit. Let me see if I can get my finger there. I used a highlighter that I know I can wash off. And I just put a little dot where the center of the 2.5" by 2.5". So this is the center of that 5" block is right there. I put the tiniest little dot. If you have a little piece of tape you want to stick there, if you have I used a little highlighter that I can wash off, washable marker, a little crayon. I mean, whatever you can kind of clean up. I just wouldn't Sharpie on it, but put a little dot there, and that's your center. And this is how I chose to do it. But again, you can do it if you've got a different way that you want to fussy cut. But the purpose is you're going to find which little cute designs that you love on your fabric and that you want to choose to be the center of your blocks, because whatever you choose is going to be in the center of these blocks right here. Okay. And I use my little dot to line it up, and these are circles. And they have these little berries on these little wreaths, which is kind of helpful. So this little berry right here seems to be right at the center. Now there's not one at the bottom that's right at the center. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit and see if I can. Oh, wrong remote. Let me try this one. There we go. Okay. So my little dots right here, I want to capture this little pink deer because, I mean, they're the cutest. And so I've got my little dot kind of eyeballing the center of this because these wreaths are not like perfect circles. So it's not going to be easy to completely square this up, but you're going to have this facing you square on. I'm actually going to move this over so you can see a little better. And I'm going to, where did my remote go? Here we go.
I have to stand
There
up to
we go.
cut. I can't cut sitting down.
Sue, I'm not sure why your fabrics would be different than ours if you ordered the kit. You don't have that fabric in your kit? This fabric, let me explain how the fabric came in the kit. It came all folded together, and there should have been, all of your pieces should have been in there. So make sure you've separated all of your fabrics, okay? All right, so, because I say that because I couldn't find this little cream color, and it was hiding behind this gray, and I didn't see it at first, and I had to find it. So just make sure you've completely separated them all out. All right, so I've got my center dot, and I've got it kind of lined up here, and I'm taking my fabric pen or marker, and I'm tracing along these two sides of the 5-inch by 5-inch square. Once I've traced that and I've got this line here, I'm going to turn it around and line that line up where my tape is. And I'm going to draw here and here. That's it. I didn't unfold it. Thank you, Bethany. Oh, you're welcome, Sue. I'm telling you, there's some very busy prints, and these fabrics were very well packaged. So go looking for it. So anyways, here's my square that I've drawn, and you're going to want to do that for at least 4. You may want to do it for 5 if you want to make the extra little pillow. But there's this one. I chose the pink deer, so I'm going to have one on my table runner and one on the pillow because I think the pink deer is super cute. I chose the little stockings. I loved those. And then I chose the little mittens, and I have the little sleigh. Okay. Now, based on how your cut of fabric is, you may not be able to do those same ones. Like on my first one, I ended up doing the pink little bells. I did a Christmas tree. I did a fireplace, and I did the little pink deer with the boot. So I'm getting different ones this time than I did on my first one. So if you haven't already, take a minute and trace out your 5 blocks, your 5 center blocks, and make sure that your fabric is facing you, and make sure that your square it's square to your design. I also want to preface this by saying, before you cut anything, if you haven't, I do highly recommend, and Corey, you may have an opinion on this, but I do highly recommend that you go through and press your fabric and get all the wrinkles out completely. And my personal opinion is I always do just a slight spritz of a liquid starch. Nothing super heavy, but just enough to help me, especially with fussy cutting. We are going to be cutting things like on a diagonal when we start sewing it together. And so having just a little bit of starch on my fabric will help tremendously. I won't use this again until I'm completely done piecing the whole block, and then I'll spritz it and give it another little starchy press. But doing a little bit of a starch to your fabric before you cut it actually does help it kind of hold its structure, make it a little easier to cut, and prevent it from kind of stretching and moving around before you start sewing. All right.
100% agree. And if you don't spritz, or if you don't starch or spritz ahead of time, and then you get to the end of it and you decide that's something that you do want to do, you might get weird puckering when you're ironing, because it's all going to shrink at a weird rate when it's being starched. So yeah, definitely just a little light starch, like Bethany said, when you're starting out.
Yeah, you don't need to do
I did do all of that. I did do all of that before I came down here, Bethany, because you told us that last time also. And I never used to do that. And then I started doing it because you told me to, and I'm very happy about it.
Yay. Yay. And there's so many different starches out there. So like, pick your favorite. It doesn't really matter. I'm using Magic, which I've come to really love. because it's not scented. Although I do love the ones that have fun scents and stuff. But I'm really loving the result I'm getting with this. But there's so many out there. Corey, do you have a favorite that you like?
I like Magic a lot, but I find myself using Best Press majority of the time.
I do
I
like
will
Best Press.
I will also tell all you guys as a little tip, just because it's happened to me and I know how it goes. I'm sure Bethany knows this as well. Some starches, whenever you're using them, once you iron them, they sometimes leave like a glimmer on the fabric, depending on what starch you're using. So I
Or if
always, and I
you
don't know,
overstarch.
or if you overstarch, yeah. And so
Yeah.
I don't know if you do this, Bethany, but I always starch and iron my fabrics from the back, just in case, like I'm trying out a new starch or I'm traveling to a different show and this is all they've got. I'm always doing it from the back. That way, if it does leave that little bit of a glimmer, it's on the back of the fabric and not on the front.
That's a really good recommendation. I just go full send and do the front. But I am also a very light starcher. Like on this piece of fabric right here, I just was like, shh, and I hold it really far away.
Yeah.
I'm not like a get up in there and soak my fabric.
I'm all in the business with the spray bottle. We all in the fabric. I don't know why. It just
we're
does
doing
the
a light
thing.
mist, okay? A light. We want some distance, and and I'm kind of misting like my whole room, but I'm like, I want an even coat.
Yep.
I don't want saturated areas, and we're not soaking the fabric. It is just a little. It's like when you spray your perfume and then you run through it.
Mm-hmm. Spray
Think of
delay
it
and
that
walk
way.
away. Yep.
Remember when we saw that? All right. It's not like your hairnet hairspray where you're like, all of that. We're doing very little, okay?
Well, also like having one of those, I don't know if you have one of these, Bethany, one of these Mister bottles. So like if you get like the standard bottle that comes with it and you can put it into one of these Mister ones and that puts out, I'm gonna spray all over this table, but it puts out a very light mist.
And
like it's nothing crazy.
Consistent spray.
Yes.
So you're like moving it as you're spraying. I do have that. I just have water in mine. But you could transfer your starch into one of those. All right. I am going to.
Julie said, I may have sprayed more than misting. Girl, same. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. But starch isn't super cheap. So I'm telling you that a little goes a long way, and you don't really need to do a whole lot because we're just starching to cut. And then once we're done building our blocks, we can do another little starch and press before we piece them together. And then after I get my whole table runner top done, then I'll give it one really good press, maybe a little more starch there before I make my quilt sandwich and ready to quilt it. I want my quilt top to be super smooth and flat. And I also, before I make my quilt sandwich, I'll spray my backing fabric as well to
with starch.
Nice and crispy. I said this to someone yesterday. I said, I want my fabric crispy like I like my Diet Cokes. Nice and crispy.
Melody, I always spray my backing fabrics with water.
I got my Diet Coke.
Ooh. I understand that concept of crispy Diet Coke. I live in Utah. I understand crispy Diet Coke.
Yes, you got it. I have my McDonald's Diet Coke here with me today, and it is giving me life. All right, so we're going to cut out these squares. This is the only thing I haven't cut out yet was these squares because I wanted to show how I drew them on. So if you want to go ahead, while we're doing this together, go ahead and at least draw out your 5, at least 4, but if you want to do the extra one, 5 blocks and get those done while we're doing them, we can, and then we'll jump into what other pieces you needed to cut. I have a really hard time cutting while sitting.
I do too. And this is our A one, right?
This is block A or piece A that we're cutting out. So if you want to keep your pieces organized, I highly recommend using some little Post-its or scrap pieces of paper and a marker, and just go ahead and write A through J on a little piece of paper Post-it. and have that ready, and it will kind of help keep up with which piece is which as you cut it.
Yeah, I put all of mine in sandwich bags and labeled them
So smart.
with what
So
number
smart.
or what letter they were going
Yeah.
to be. Just because it was going to be moving around a lot, I thought it'd be easier that way.
That's a great idea. Sandwich bags, that's really good.
Now, when you're cutting these pieces out, someone had asked, are we going to use any of these? Maybe it was you, Melody. Are we going to use any of these other pieces of this fabric for our border? It shows it in the border, and I have some in my border of my first one, but that's because I cut just the squares out, and then I was able to get a few pieces for the border in between in those areas. So don't just like cut all the way across your fabric, just cut out the squares that you are using for piece A. Okay.
Great.
All right. I'm going to cut the rest of those out later because we're only going to build up one block today. And let's go through our other pieces and which fabrics they should be. And then when you want to cut yours out, and if you get confused as to which one's which, then you may want to come back to this replay when we're done and watch this part again. Okay. So we're going to go to, I'm going to make me a little bigger. There we go. All right. So here's our cut list on page 1, and we've done A. If you're like me, I put little check marks next to them as I've done them, even along with my little Post-its. I just find it so much easier. So we've got A here, and I've got my box with all my other pieces. So this is going to be B. This is that creamy fabric that has the little leaves and holly berries on it, and that is B. B is going to be 16 of these little squares, and they are 2 3/4 inch by 2 3/4 inch. You need 16 of those. So that's B.
So it's not this big giant one.
Nope. That's the white one.
Okay.
It's more of a cream one. So if you look at this one right here, you see how it's more of a yellow color than a white in this little block? That's how I figured that out. And I also went back into this picture on the front, and the center of these pieces out here are much whiter, and then this one in the center is more of that cream color. So yes, it's the creamy one, or slightly off-white one, I should say. All right, so that's B. Let me find C and D are going to be the same fabric, and it's the little red fabric with the bells and the stars. So it's our smaller red print, and you're going to cut C and D out of that. You're going to have 8 of each, so 8 of C and 8 of D. They're both 1 3/4 inch wide, but C is 5 inches long, so it's shorter, and D is 7.5 inches long. This is creating that center red block that's going to go around the center. Okay. So that's why you see C and D right there. Okay. So that's C and D. Now, this is where some people have gotten hung up. I found it curious as I studied the picture for the binding that there was a different fabric used on one end than the other 3 sides. On the binding?
I never even noticed that. On the front picture, if you look at it, the far left is like the creamy.
Oh. Yeah.
Good catch.
I didn't even notice that. That was just an error when they did the mock-up.
Designing error.
But it is supposed to be that plaid fabric, which we'll get to in a minute. So E was a little confusing for some people, and I totally understand why. Because you're cutting E with 2 different green fabrics. One is a larger print and one is a smaller print. And so you're going to do, 16 of each. So a total of 32 pieces. They are 3 inch by 3 inch. Okay, so what I did is I cut both of mine and then I kind of lay them on top but stagger them so that I know which print's which. Whoop, my little post-it fell off. And I'll show you how this plays out on mine so you can see like the big picture. F is our big red print, and you need 32 of those, and they're 2 3/4 inch by 2 3/4 inch. So there's 32 of those. Let's see here. What's next? G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 16 of the little pink fabric, and it's 2 inch by 2 inch squares. These are little bitty pieces of the pretty pink fabric. Also with the pink fabric, you're going to do 16 3.5 by 3.5 inch squares. I is 16 2 3/4 inch by 2 3/4 inch of the smaller print of the green. Remember we did 2 prints for E, the big print and the little print. Ooh, I can't talk today. Big print, little print. This is that smaller print, and that is I, and they're 2 3/4 inch squares. And last but not least, J, which is our background fabric, which is that white with the silver kind of speckled dot on it. And these are 4 inch by 4 inch squares. And in the instructions, it tells you to fold this fabric and cut it with the fabric. So selvage to selvage. I fold mine in half and cut it selvage to selvage. Make 5 strips that are 4 inches wide, and that'll give you all of these that you need. You need 48, but you'll end up with 50 because of how it cuts out. All right, so that is all of our pieces just for these blocks. Any scraps left over from this, please save, and I have done so right here. So I have plenty of my background fabric, but I have all of this left over to cut out my border pieces, which we will do later. And then this fabric right here is your binding. And we're going to talk about that when we get to binding next week. So we're going to talk about cutting binding on the bias, which is another reason why I'm not cutting it, because I don't want it to stretch any more than it already will when I cut on the bias. So I kind of save that for later, and we'll do all of that at another time. So here's my little handy dandy box of pieces. Does anybody have any questions about any of the pieces for building this block and which fabric is which? Again, you can always come back and watch the replay to see all of them again and go through them again. What about the gray holly? The gray holly, we're not cutting out for the block. It is an extra fabric that is worked into the border if you so choose. So it's just a little bit of fabric. It's the counterpart to the off-white here, okay? Now, if you wanted to, you could alternate, since there's 4 of these blocks, you could alternate these pieces right here. 2 of your blocks could have the cream and 2 could have the gray. It's totally up to you. Now, remember how piece E is split with 2 different green prints? And, but let me show you what that looks like on the finished one. So I'm going to try not to bump my microphone, but I may. That is these pieces around the block here. And you'll notice that this is my smaller print here. And then this is my bigger green print here. And then this block has my smaller green print. And then this one has that bigger green print. And I alternated that on purpose. So it's just something to keep in mind as you're building it out. So was C and D with the bells? C and D, yes, with the little red bells. Yes, you use the same fabric for both of those. The other thing is, if you're going to alternate your greens so that you have, and again, from anyone else who doesn't sew is probably not going to notice this. So if you had 2 blocks side by side that had the same bold print and 2 with a small print, nobody's going to really notice because it's all very scrappy looking quilt top. But for me, I alternated which greens I put with each block and alternated my blocks. But that also meant I had to decide which centers I wanted to be where, my order for my blocks. So which was B again? B was this creamy white with the holly. If you don't see the creamy white, it's probably hiding behind the gray that looks just like it, because my gray fabric was the same cut size, and it was stuck to the back of it. Any questions about what I was talking about with the blocks, with the E and the 2 alternating greens, for building out your quilt, your table runner? If not, that's awesome. All right. Melody, do you have any questions? I'm covered in threads.
Yeah, could you call my husband and tell him to bring down the fabric that I forgot to bring down when I ironed it? Because he's not answering me.
Just run get it if you need to.
Because I ironed everything upstairs because I'm still working on my room down here. And I think I left that creamy one that I wasn't sure was anyway, I left that one.
Yeah, totally.
So I may have to run and get it, because once I start this, I want to get it. I want to get them.
Yeah, because we're about to start sewing up the first block real quick. I want to at least get you guys sewing up the first block, but because there were a lot of pieces, I just wanted to walk through all the pieces. And someone wants me to go through the red and green again, so I will. Just give me 1 second. Clean up my mess over here. I've already got. All right, so
Hi, Mom.
Organize my space. All right.
Real quick, while you're organizing your space,
Yes.
Bethany, guys, when you're doing your fussy cutting, Bethany showed you, using the tape if you have a larger template. I actually happen to have a 5x5 Quilter Select one that I used.
Perfect.
And I will say, I found these little, and you guys know I love CutterPillar like crazy, but I don't know the range of products as well as Bethany and Melody do, obviously. I found these cute little, what do you call these?
Oh, there are little clamps.
These little clamps that I went and stole from Melody's booth a couple of times throughout the show.
Corey stole probably 75 of those. No, I'm just kidding. He only stole like 4 or 5 of them. Yeah.
This little clamp suction cups onto my 5x5. And obviously I didn't fussy cut my fabric right, but that's okay. My thing will look different. That's fine. But it just sits right on, and then you pull this handle, guys, and then it's going to stay in perfect. So when I was fussy cutting, these did not move. So it was really nice to give myself an extra hand as opposed to having to use my hand on top of the template by itself. And that helped me get that perfect cut that I was looking for. And they can just pop and move to any different template.
Yes. And the mini ones will also fit on your 3-inch wide rulers too. They're small enough to fit on the 3-inch wide.
They're really the best for those little tiny rulers that we all have that we love to use. They're so good for that.
Thank you for calling that out.
Of course.
Yes, Susan, I'll hold up the fabrics one more time. And I'm going to go over the red and green again. I also want to show, we have a bigger clamp for bigger rulers that does the same thing. It sticks and clamps. Let me stick it and clamp it. But it also has a light on it. So if you struggle with seeing, then this can help you a lot. And it has like a nice handle, and it's built for left and right-handed. So as both of our clamps are. So you can choose which clamp is right for you. You can't go wrong. I actually, on my longer, skinnier rulers, I'll put a couple of these. So as I continue to cut down the length of it, I just move my hand to the second clamp. And then I also have this one for anytime I need a little extra light. I don't really need it in my studio. I've got all the lights turned on. But Diana, yes, they do work great. They are a must-have. This one's a rechargeable. You just plug it in and it easily just comes right off. And then we have our little mini ones as well that Corey was talking about. And they hold a lot. Like you can clamp these to our tempered glass mat. That's kind of heavy and it holds on.
Yeah.
So,
I thought that was insane. Keisha was demonstrating that.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
yeah, we love holding them, the glass mat with our clampies.
Yeah. It's crazy. I feel like one of those guys that's installing windows, like they have those big suction cups holding glass so it doesn't break.
Here, I got it right here. Watch. Here's my glass mat.
Oh, he just held it up too. Yeah. Even with the mini.
It's so cool.
They're so great.
All right. I was going to go over the pieces again real quick, rapid fire. We're going to go over the pieces again. And then don't forget, this is recorded. And when we're done being live, you can go back and watch the replay. I had to get that clamp off my ruler. They're so good.
Before you do it, Bethany, I just want to say one quick thing before you do it. We have also extended our Houston Festival BOGO buy product, get a product for half price deal. We added them to the Fall Fest page that we showed you guys earlier, so it's all in the same place. And the cutting mat that Bethany and I are both using are Flip and Fold 48. I believe one of the BOGO deals is you get buy the cutting mat and you get that clamp light for half price.
Can't go wrong with that.
So check that out too, because I love this mat too. Like mine right now is sized 17 by 48 for for what I'm working on, because I have lights sitting up on my table. Anyway, go check the BOGO deals out too that are on there. Buy a product, get a product for half price.
Thank you for saying that. I'm using the Flip and Fold 36 on this table, and I have it open completely. Corey's got his right there as well. So mine is open to 24 by 36 because it fits perfectly on my studio table. All right, so piece number A, you're going to have 4 or 5 of these if you're going to do the pillow. Piece number A, where we've centered our little circle block, so that's A. Piece number B is the creamy holly berry. That's B. C is the red with the bells. D is also red with the bells, just a little longer than C. E is going to be cut in 2 different greens, the smaller print with the pinkish reddish flowers, and the bigger print with the bigger holly and all of that. You're going to have 2 prints that you're cutting E out of. Both are green, 16 of each for a total of 32. 32 pieces for E, and you're cutting them in 2 different greens. Okay. F is our big red print. So if you didn't notice, this bigger green print and the red print are the same print, just different colorways. So for F, you're going to do all of those in red, that one red. G is the little pink. This is the pink tone. It's not the creamy that we did earlier. You can kind of see the color difference here when I hold them next to each other, but pink for G, and also pink for H. It's that little pinkish background color fabric. I is our smaller green print. It's the rest of these that we did, the smaller green print. And J is our white with the silver dots, speckles all over it. So those are all of your, if you want to take a little screenshot, and that way you can make sure you've got the right color of fabric for the right piece and keep it all straight. This is a good time to take a quick little screenshot. If you heard my dog sneeze, I'm sorry. Biscuit, you okay? You're okay. She wants in on the action. All right.
She loves.
How are we doing with our print? She's here. Say hi.
Hi, Biscuit.
Who's saying that? You're such a good girl.
Hi, Biscuit.
She helped me decorate. I hope you like my Christmas decorations in my studio before Halloween. That was for you, Melody.
Hey,
no judgment.
I appreciate that
at all.
Because I've already I finished one more tree. The one in my bedroom is done now.
Nice.
So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 done.
Good.
4
all
done.
right.
So
everybody got their. Is the holly berry same as the mistletoe? I don't know what that means. Yeah, probably. It probably is a mistletoe print, but I call it all holly. Eric's giving me a hard time in the background. That's who asked that question. So of course it was Eric. He's laughing. He's a nut. Anyways, all right. So are you guys ready to start building?
He's going to want to sew by the end of this. He's going to want a kit. He's going to want a sewing machine. He's ready to sew.
Well, he can get a kit because we sold out of these kits, but
we did sell out of the kits.
You snooze, you lose, Eric.
But he can get the next one.
He sure can. We still have some left. By the way, Corey's joining us for the November sew along as well. So
Yay.
I'm excited about that. And I'm actually going to wait to cut all of my stuff live with you guys. So I'm excited about it. I've got it right here. I brought it with me. And I haven't opened it yet either, Bethany.
I know. We should do an unboxing, but we're going to have to do it another time. Okay. So excuse me, I have the hiccup. So to start, we're going to start with piece A and piece B. So all of your other pieces, you can just kind of move off to the side and keep them organized. And we're just going to work with A and B to start. And you can build one block at a time, or if you've already got all your pieces cut, you can build all 4 blocks at the same time. So you do each step 4 times instead, and then you move on to the next step. Or you can build one and practice and see all of one come together, and then you can go through and do the other 3 together. Totally up to you, but we're going to just do one together real quick, and that is going to be your homework to come back with 4 completed blocks on Friday. And if you don't, that's fine. You'll learn how to put them all together and do the border on Friday, and so you can always catch up over the weekend. So this is block A, and we've got block B. And for block B, I'm only going to need 4. I'm going to need 4. So I'm going to pull out 4 of these. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Set those aside. So I've got 4. And we're going to attach these right sides together. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right, so I've got block A here facing you, not me, but facing you. And I'm going to put one of my little squares in the corner here. And I can go ahead and put one in the opposite corner if you want. But not these yet. We can only do 2 at a time because we are going to sew from corner to corner and corner to corner. You want to sew corner to corner from the edge of your green square to the edge of your green square. You don't want to sew into the square. We want to sew from the edge of the square to the edge of the square. If it helps, you can take a ruler and a pen. Some people find this helpful to do this part. And you can just draw a little line. Make sure you're getting all the way across corner to corner. If you also want to pin or clip your pieces in place, you can. But because I starched mine, they kind of just stay right where they need to, because I'm just going to go straight to my machine and stitch across both of these. And then we'll trim and do the other corners. So let me switch to this camera. Oh, look. Now I am using a 1/4 inch piecing foot. You don't need a 1/4 inch piecing foot for this part, but you will, because we're going like diagonal here, but you will want a 1/4 inch piecing foot with all of this eventually. So I just go ahead and put mine on. I have just a white cotton thread in my machine because that will kind of blend in. Now, Corey, what color thread did you end up using? Because I think you said you were going to use a different color.
Yeah, I'm using Deco Bob, but I'm using they have a color. This is the second one that I've got. It's Deco Bob 217. It's like a rose goldy color. So the really great thing about that is if like the seam pops open a little bit while we're quilting it.
Can you hold that back up?
Again. Yeah. Sorry, it's light, but it's like a rosy gold color. It's number 217, and I love Deco Bob for piecing. It's 80 weight. I use it for everything just because I like my seams to be like really, really flat. But just in case the seam pops just a hair, because sometimes when we do, like, I like heavy quilting on my stuff, so it might open the seams a little bit. That rose color will kind of go hand in hand with the pink tones that are in all of these fabrics. So it's just going to look natural as opposed to having like a really stark, like black or gray or something like that that shows up.
Yes. And I went with white. I went with white because that was what was already in my machine. All right.
Nothing
So
wrong with that.
I went ahead and stitched down both of these lines, and then you're going to want to cut off the excess on the outside corners, and you're wanting to leave about 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now you can eyeball it, or you can put a ruler up next to it and get your 1/4 inch seam allowance. It's totally up to you. I'm an eyeball kind of person, which I know makes some people's eye twitch, but I am who I am, and fine, you do you. All right, so this is what we're left with, right? And now we can open this up and give it a little finger press, or you can take it to your iron. But we're going to come back and take our other 2 pieces. You see what we're doing here? We've got these 2 corners. Now we're going to come back over and do our other 2 corners the same way. And this is why we had to do 2 at a time, opposites at a time, because they do overlap here. And so we are going to sew across these. So if you want to take a second to press these open and make sure they're nice and flat before you do it, you can. And then we're going to draw a little line across here. I find that helpful, especially on the machine I'm using today, because I'm not using my FOF. I don't have a little laser line.
I was about to ask you if you use one. I've got a laser line on mine, and it spoiled the heck out of me.
I was just about to say, it has spoiled me to have that on my machine. Because then it just saves me so much time to not have to draw the lines.
Right.
But so again, once you pressed your seams, you're going to place these 2 blocks here. You're going to stitch from corner to corner along that line. We're going to trim off this seam allowance and press this open, and we'll have that diamond shape that is shown in that picture. Okay. Let me go press mine real quick. How are you guys coming along? Melody, how you doing?
I'm separating my 2 greens.
There
but
you go.
I think I left my bee upstairs.
Well, you're welcome to go run get it. It's totally fine.
Yeah, but the camera will follow me.
That's right.
Here. I'll just ready, go. I just removed her from the screen.
Just dropped her right out of the screen. It's fine.
Now's your chance. She's got one of
the face
Bethany,
tracking. I can log in with my phone camera so they can see what we mean by a laser line, because I know some people might not have seen that before.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let me try to do that real quick. It's not going to mess up. Right?
You'll need to mute yourself on your phone before you log in, and okay. Make sure the phone volume's turned all the way down.
Okay.
But yes. Okay. So on my FOF that I have, there's a laser built into the machine that there's like a whole projection with like grid and lines and stitch guides and stitch preview and all of that. And it will project a line. So I don't have to draw my line here. It just projects it.
Oh,
and
that's sweet. And
it's so nice. And when I turn it on and I go, it's like called, when you activate the projector thing, it dims the overhead light on the machine. So it really shows up, and you can change the color of it to any color in the rainbow. So no matter what fabric you're using, you can see it.
That's cool.
I'm telling you, it has spoiled me rotten.
Okay. I think I'm there. If you want to turn it on.
Okay, let me bring you to stage. All right. There you go. So there's his laser.
I have a little attachment onto mine that points right down. But then I can have that laser line, so it just points from one edge to the other. And I'm going to do this while holding my phone, guys, so I do apologize that it's shaky. But then all I have to do is just make sure that stays in a straight line. And it's going to get to that point and hit exactly where it needs to go. And then, a side note, I also use my clamp light right here on the bed of the machine to put a bunch of extra light down, and that really helps.
Do you not have a flex sewing machine light?
I do. It's not with me, though. That's why I'm using my clamp light.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
My flex sits up here, but it didn't make it with me, so I'm using my clamp light to give myself extra light.
That is too funny. Too funny. But no, that's really cool. Let me switch this back here, and there we go. Where are we? Here we go.
Cool.
All right, so I sewed these other two sides on and I went ahead and trimmed my seam allowance. So now I'm going to go to my iron and press this open. And now we have the center of our block. It went from a green square to a green diamond shape. How fun is that? So cute. So I'm going to go press this real quick.
And you've got you're pressing you pressed your seams open, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't? I did.
I don't. Yeah, you know what? I don't have the patience for that.
Oh, see, I love a good open flat seam. There's just something about it for me.
Now, when I go to attach my blocks, I will press my seams open between the blocks. But when I'm piecing, I will press to one side. And so for this one, I pressed my seams to the outside pieces because that's just the way that they kind of naturally fell. So I kind of let the fabric tell me which way it wants to go.
Fair.
But Corey, is the laser light available to attach to any machine?
Yeah, this one is the green one from Vivilux, VIVI Lux, but it's just a Velcro that sticks on and then it can attach to any machine. And it has 3 different attachments. So it has a dot, a crosshair, and then a straight line. And then I just Velcro it onto any machine. But this. I mean, I use a bunch of different ones. I also like the SoQ laser. Bethany, I know you've seen them, that one.
Yeah.
That's a really, really good one too.
Melody, you got your fabrics? Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted. Hold on. Let me unmute you. Or you'll have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself.
Linda, to answer your question, we sell the SoQ one at Linda's. That one I like a tad bit more because you can dial it in and it like doesn't move. This has a flex arm, so it's used for a bunch of different other things. But the SoQ one is really, really nice. And you can get little different attachments to put on your machine, so you can have on different machines as well.
Yeah, my fabric was not upstairs. It was under my chair.
You had it all along.
I had it all along.
All right, so this is what we've done so far, Melody. We did our little green square. We did our little white square. So now we have our center square for our block, and we're building from the inside out. So the next pieces that we're going to need are C and D. So we're going to do those next. So we're going to start with C, and we're going to need 2 of those. And those are going to go along the shorter sides, the left and right sides of this. So give this a good press, and you're just going to place this right sides together. And if you want to clip it in place, you can, but we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance down both of these sides and then press this open. This is when you're going to want to have that 1/4 inch piecing foot now attached to your machine if you haven't already, because it'll give you that perfect 1/4 inch seam.
That's
Did
funny.
you see what Sue said, Melody? She said, "Welcome to the Hiding Fabric Club."
Thank you, Sue. I'm grateful to be joining you for that. I thought I had a pile of all my stuff over here, but I fell on the way over, I guess. I don't know, but thank you for welcoming me. I enjoy being new to that club. Yeah, thank you.
We send out registration cards every week, so you'll get your email shortly.
That'll be great. That'll be great. I'll fill it out as soon as I get it.
All right, so I'm going to give this a little press over here on my Aliso iron.
Do you have the M3, Melody? I'm sorry, Bethany. Do you have the M3?
Yeah.
I love the little headlight on it. It's the cutest thing
I
in the world.
know. We like all the lighted tools around here.
All the light, all the light.
All the light. All right, so look how cute this is coming along. Like, you can't be sad when sewing Christmas fabric. It's just impossible. And yes, it's October, but we're just feeling all the jolly. So we're going to need 2 of piece D. We're going to need 2 of those, and these are going to go along the top and the bottom. So this is why they're a little longer, because they now are going to make that full square around it. So we're going to set those aside, and we're going to do the same thing we did with C. We're going to bring it right sides together and stitch down both sides 1/4 inch, and then press our seams open. While there's a lot of pieces for this block, I do find that it comes together pretty quickly.
Yeah, I thought when I was building mine together, I was like, oh, this goes together. I mean, you could crank this out in, you know, a day.
Yeah.
You can.
You could do it too. I believe in you. As long as you've got all your fabric and it's not hiding under your chair, you're good to go.
As long as things are hiding and my husband will answer my text messages from upstairs, then we'll be okay.
Yeah, we can blame him.
Yeah,
this is why you got to keep your pieces in your little box, Melody.
I know. I'm excited to do that. It's so funny because when you guys first did the unboxing and you were talking about the little box, I was like, what? Like, it's cute, but like what? And then I opened mine and I am so happy about the box that it's worth it to do this project just so that I can have an empty box.
Yeah, and it's a good
because the boxes are so cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a good size box for notions, this one. And then the one that comes in November Sewalong project that we're doing, it's a much bigger box. And that one I'm definitely using as a project box.
Yeah.
For sure.
Let's see.
Yes.
Sue said, Corey, are you still using a 2.0? Are you also using a 2.5 stitch length for Deco Bob? Great question, Sue. I have mine just on a 2 stitch length. I like a little bit of a shorter stitch length. I think, again, just because I like really tight quilting. I don't want my seams to open up as much. So I go for a 2 on that one. Oh my gosh, Bethany, it's so cute.
Cute.
So cute.
I lost the light.
Bethany,
I lost the light down here. I'm still figuring stuff out.
did you see Marcy's comment? Bethany can crank it out in an hour. She's a speedy sewist. Marcy was at my sewing retreat, and they were all making fun of me of how fast I sew. And I'm a pedal to the metal sewist. I sew as fast as I can, and I'll be honest, it's the same way that I drive my car. I want to get there. I want to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. No judgment.
That's funny.
All right. So I've got this block here already done. So we've got C and D all stitched together. And now I'm going to set this aside because we're going to make all of the little pieces that go around it, and then we'll add it to the block. So let's set that aside, and we're going to get J, which is our white with the gray speckle, and we're going to get E. And we have 2 different colors for E, remember? So we need to keep that in mind, and we're going to kind of plan this out. So for this one, I am going to take a second real quick because I haven't cut out my other center squares yet. Let me look at this. See here, I have a stocking, I have a mitten, a deer, and that. All right. All right. I'm just planning in my head. Okay. So I'm going to take one of my greens. Sorry.
The fact, Bethany, that you could be like, okay, cool, and you just have it all figured out is what amazes me too.
That's not normal.
Not for me.
I just feel like everybody operates like I do because that's all I know. But I'm starting to realize at my age that that's not the case.
That's not how it works, and I feel the same way about myself. And then I'm like, wait, you don't do things like that? What? So I understand.
Melody, Jana has a question for future project or product ideas. Can we get an attachment for the flex light so it can act as a laser someday in the future?
Jana. I adore you, Jana. We, without revealing secrets that we're not supposed to reveal, wink, wink, perhaps.
Maybe one day.
That is all I'm going to say.
Maybe one day.
That is all I'm going to say.
I need to
Jana,
take her back off
that's
the
all.
string before her face gives away too much more. You okay over there, Melody? You're twitching.
I'm winking. I'm twitching, winking.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
It makes you feel better.
Thank you for the
can't
idea. Yes, maybe. Hopefully. We'll see.
Marcy's calling me out.
Maybe you deserve it.
No. She said I secretly turned up the speed on a couple of people's machines at the retreat. No, I was helping. I was helping them.
She probably did. She probably did.
I was helping them. And when I was sitting down helping them with something and fixing their machine, if it was stitching wrong or whatever, I would like do some test sewing and I would speed it up because I was so fat. Like it was just going so slow. I'm like, okay, like let's really test this out. And then I would forget to turn it back down. And then they would sit to sew and like, sorry, not sorry. I am the road runner. I love that Eric called me the road runner because that was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. Okay, we're doing J and E. And let's see here. I want to make sure I tell you guys this correctly. So I'm just going to pick one of these prints and that will go with this block. And then for my next block, I'll alternate or however I want to do it. But you're just going to pick one of these greens to go with this block. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to stick that over there. So this is my E, this is my J. And we're also going to need F as well in a minute. Thank you, Keisha. Keisha's throwing out all the sweet compliments. That's so nice.
Oh, is Keisha here? Is she sewing along?
Is she? Did she get a kit?
I don't know. She didn't. We keep trying to find a time where I can go to her house and like teach her the basics of sewing because like I can do that. I can't teach quilting yet. I'm working on it, but we keep trying to find time to do that. And then, life and work and everything keeps getting in the way. So
yeah. But now that you have like a studio at your house, there's no excuse. Okay, so I'm going to explain what we're doing next. So you're going to take J, which is the white square. You're going to take one of those. And you're going to take E, one of your green prints. And you're going to put it, when this is facing you, and I'm doing mine upside down to help you on camera. You're going to put the green one in the bottom left corner. The bottom left corner of J. And you're going to draw a line or use your laser like Corey and go from corner to corner, edge to edge, okay? We're not sewing into the block. We're just sewing from edge to edge. So these are their corners. We're going to stitch along here and then trim this off, and then we're going to come back and do the other side with a different piece, okay? So let's stitch this down. I also feel like I get a straighter line if I sew fast. That's just me.
See, and I would feel like if I twitched it the wrong way, it would go so far out of whack if I'm sewing fast that I could never get it back straight.
Well, I mean, that's what a seam ripper's for.
Good old Jack.
Jack the Ripper. All right, I'm going to press this open real quick. All right. So that is what you should end up with. Lindell, great question. Lindell asked, do you not want to mix the greens? I chose not to, but you absolutely could. But I chose not to. So let me show you kind of what it looks like when you choose not to mix the greens in your block. This one has the bold print around the red square, the bigger green print. And this one has the smaller green print around the square. And that way it alternates. So I did a bold and then a smaller and a bold and a smaller. I alternated mine. Does that make sense? All right. So that's how I chose to do it. You absolutely could mix and match. If you were to mix and match, then I would do opposites. So like small print here and small print here, big, wait, where's my hand? Woo, big print on this side, big print on this side. It's backwards. I always get confused. So anyways, if you were to mix and match, which you totally can, then I would do opposites instead of like 2 of the same on each side. But again, your preference, your quilting, your tabletop. Did you just freehand trimming that corner? That would so not go well for me. Yeah. When you've trimmed as many pieces as I have, it just does. It goes that it does. Yes, and you know what? It's probably pretty close to 1/4 inch. I've always done it that way. All right, so we've got our J and our E attached in the bottom left-hand corner. Now we're going to take one of our F pieces, and we're going to do the same thing, but in the opposite corner.
Can I just say how happy I am that I'm going to have another finished project?
I am so excited for you.
With all of my unfinished ones that I have, I'm so excited.
I know. So now we're going to stitch from corner to corner on this line and then do our trim and then press that open and we'll have one of these pieces. We're going to repeat this 7 more times because we're going to need 2 for each side of this square, which I'll show you in a second. Linda asks, is there stitching in the ditch with the quilting? Corey, do you want to answer that one?
Yeah, totally. So when you are, see if I can get my camera to go up. Woohoo! When you're working on this project and you want to do the physical quilting, when we get to episode 3, which is next Wednesday, right, Bethany? Yeah. When we get to episode 3, I'm going to talk about the multiple different ways that you could quilt this. One of them could just be doing stitch in the ditch if you just want to showcase the fabrics. Bethany did really cute line work on hers, kind of like a plaid look on her sample, which was really adorable. And then I'm also going to show another way to do quilt as you go, because that's how y'all first came to know me on the CutterPillar page, was doing quilt as you go. And I'm going to show you how to do that as well, to do some quilting on your sewing machine without free motion, which is really fun.
Yes. So can you explain, Corey, to everyone what stitch in the ditch is?
Totally. Let me find a block. This one I'm working on right here. This will work. Okay. So my block is right here. And if I wanted to do stitch in the ditch around my block, the ditch is where 2 fabrics meet, and it's going to be right in that middle piece. Now, depending on how you press your seam, so if you press to one side or if you press open, will help determine where your needle is going to fall whenever you're doing your stitch in the ditch work. So for instance, around these red ones that go around this block, the seam, and you'll be able to feel it too, like if you get a quilt top from someone, say you're long arming it for somebody, if you feel the seam, you'll feel a little bit of a bump on that seam, and that's going to tell you which direction that ditch is. And if you put your needle just to the side of that bump, so I'm going to try and do this up here, but right to the side of that, I wouldn't do it right on the red, but right to the side, you'll be able to do your stitch in the ditch, and it's going to fall just beautifully in there and kind of disappear. I also like when I'm doing stitch in the ditch work on a quilt or a quilt top to use a little bit of a thinner thread. So you guys heard that I use Deco Bob for piecing. I like to use Deco Bob or Micro Quilter or Bottom Line for stitch in the ditch because it's a very thin thread and it will just kind of disappear into that ditch. So you don't have to really worry so much if you don't get it just right. It kind of just falls away after the quilt is washed or after it's done and hung up or used however it wants to be.
You can also use a clear thread.
You could, yeah, you could use a monopoly. Superior's got a really nice monopoly. And that's a good one because it's a true polyester, but it's a clear one, where as opposed to some monofilaments are a nylon and they might change color over time. They might go from clear to yellow. So having that poly, it'll stay that really nice clear. 100 weight, so very thin. And it just disappears really well too.
Did you mention using a stitch in the ditch foot?
No, I didn't. So if you are doing stitch in the ditch on your home domestic sewing machine, you can find a foot attachment. Majority of machines nowadays, if you buy a new one, majority of them come with a bunch of feet. But if you're looking for the foot, there is a stitch in the ditch foot that has a little bit of a guide. And again, I'm not in my studio, so I don't have my exact camera set up, but it has a guide on the foot to kind of like your 1/4 inch foot to allow you to just set that guide right in the ditch. So while you're stitching, you kind of have an idea ahead of time of where your needle is going to line up and where it's going to hit. So you have no stress and you're completely confident whenever you're stitching that right through your machine.
Yeah, I only stitch in the ditch with my stitch in the ditch foot because I find that little metal bar that's on it like kind of parts the sea for you. It's like
Right?
it literally is like it's like a bumper for bowling. It just kind of helps truly guide you along the way. All right, so I have made, while Corey was sharing that, and thank you for doing that, Corey, I have made 2 of these blocks, and I'm going to turn them around this way. So I've made 2 of these blocks, and this is what they would have looked like if you're following the instructions. The green is in the left, the bottom left, the red is in the top right, just like this. And what we want to do is turn it so that the greens make a triangle. Look how cool that is. That looks just chef's kiss. So pretty. And this is going to go around. Sorry, I bumped my camera, so it's a little crooked now. But this is going to go around. We're going to make a bunch of these to go around our block. Let me zoom out a little bit.
Bethany, your reds are going to make the triangle.
What?
Yeah.
What? Just kidding.
No, you have the right way.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
There you go. There you go.
I was like, oh my gosh, did I do that wrong too?
No, I did. I didn't do it wrong on my first one. I just was like, oh yeah, I'm going to match the obvious ones up. Nope.
It's all
so
good.
It's going to match like this. Match like this. Oh, y'all, I'm sorry. I need another Diet Coke. It's been one of those weeks. All right, so I've got these 2 pieces, and I've just turned it to make the red ones make a triangle. And what we're going to do is we're going to sew these 2 together, right sides together, and then this will become one piece, and we'll have one across here, one down each side, and one across the bottom, and then we'll fill in the corners in a minute. Keisha says, stitch in the ditch is a tongue twister like fat quarter bundle bag.
It is, because you all want to get your fat quarter bundle bags.
Janice correct. She said, Bethany is human too. Good to know. Look, I'm a robot and I do glitch. Okay. Let's be honest. All right. So you're going to have your 2 pieces and we're going to fold them once you've lined them up to make your red triangle. Okay. You're going to fold them right sides together on top of each other. And you're going to want to line up these points right here. Now, Corey probably has a different method than I do, and there's no right or wrong way of doing it, whatever works best for you. But I'm going to show you 2 ways. If I can find what I need real quick. Oh, stretch. There we go. All right. The most common way that you'll find that people do this is with a pen. And I mean a pen that will poke you. And you're going to stick it through. You're going to line it up and you're going to put the pin in where your seam is at the top of that point, and you're going to flip it over. And if it comes out where the stitches are on the back side, then it's lined up and you can just pin it in place. Okay. That's option 1. Option 2 is you can find where it is, clip it, and do a little flip check to make sure it's lined up. It's up to you how you like to do it. Corey, do you have a method that you like for lining up your points, or do you just kind of go for it like I do?
Option 3 for me.
Okay, let me switch my camera. Hold on. There we go.
Good. I love using a fabric glue. So this is the Roxanne glue based it. It is my favorite. It's a temporary water soluble glue, and it's different than like craft or paper glue because this is primarily used for fabric. So I put it right there in those points, and then I'll just hold those two pieces together temporarily. And the thing I like about the glue is there's no shift in it. I found with clips and with pins, sometimes I get a little bit of a shift depending on how much pressure is on my pressure foot on my machine, where that glue doesn't allow for any shrinkage or any shift, and it just goes right through, and I can do a ton of them at one time. So I'll glue them all down and then just sit at the machine and just knock them out. Speed all the way up, going with my inner Bethany on that, and just flying through those. But it doesn't have any shift in it. And then once the quilt is washed, or if you spritz any water on it, that glue just magically disappears. I don't know the science behind it, but it does the thing.
Okay, I have that glue because it came in your Quist system bundle.
Yep.
But I never
have it.
Use it for...
Then I have it also.
Yeah, you've got it too. I use it for piecing all the time, and I love it for paper piecing too, especially when you're joining the units together. But it's fantastic. Like let me do this tiny fabric piece real quick. Let me move over here and show you guys. Let's see which way is which. There we go. And
I did a decent job.
You did fantastic. What are you talking about?
With a clip.
You did fantastic. I love it. But I take this glue.
Corey, this is when I would split my seams. Whenever I join points is when I split my seams.
It
what
gets
I mean by that
lay
is
just right.
I split my seam on the back, open it up. So all the other ones I've pressed to one side, but this one I will open up and press it open.
So if I dab that, there's a little dot of glue, guys, and I know it's really hard to see because I'm, again, not in my normal setup, but a little dab of glue, and if I put those pieces together, I'll just hold that temporarily with my finger. You can even give it a quick press with your iron as well, not on your cutting mat, do it on your glass mat or your wool mat. But that quick press will just hold that in place, and there's no movement at all whenever I'm stitching. Keeps it nice in alignment, and then I always end up with perfect points.
Love it. See, I just thought of using that for like my binding. I never thought to use it for piecing.
There's so many uses for it. I love it.
Okay. Well, I need a whole lesson on glue, apparently.
Oh, we can do that.
Anything to make life easier, right?
Right?
That's what we try to do.
So here's that piece that we just made. And the back,
so good.
I split the seam open. Voila. Voila. That might be the best point I'll make all day. Corey, what is that glue called again? And do you want to put a link to it in the chat? Because you sell it on your website.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can. It's called Roxanne Glue Based It, and I will grab it off of our site real quick and put a link in the chat for you.
I don't have mine handy, or else I would try it right now, but I will try it when I'm piecing up the rest of this. So what we did for these two pieces, we need to repeat 3 more times to get all the way around this block. So this is a great time to ask any questions. I'm just going to keep cutting, or not cutting. I'm going to keep piecing these together so we can finish up this block. And I'm just going to prep all of my pieces real quick. And just do it all at once. Right side up. And you're not stitching this to the back side.
Hey, Bethany, real quick, did it work? I've never done a link in StreamYard before.
It's in there. It's in the chat.
Okay, cool. Woohoo!
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'll do that later. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So as you can see here, I'm going to chain piece. And does anybody know what chain piecing means? I'm going to ask a question. Does anybody know what chain piecing means?
Yeah, that's when you just keep going, right?
It's just when you just keep stitching and stitching. It's when you're piecing.
When you're doing a bunch of triangles. Yeah.
Well, it's not even triangles. It could be anything. So basically I'm going to cut, or I'm going to piece all of these back to back because I'm repeating the same step over and over. So instead of doing it one at a time, like I did to show you how to do it, I'm now going to do all of these together. So I'm prepping all of these to stitch all of these together. And I'll show you when I go to stitch, I'll stitch across this one, and then I'll feed my next one in, and then I'll feed my next one in, and I won't cut my thread in between, and it all just keeps stitching one after the other. It's just a more efficient way to get a bunch of pieces done that are the same step over and over. Because in quilting, there's a lot of repetition, and then it also saves time. It also saves on thread, and it prevents any sort of nesting because you're kind of chaining right off the previous piece. So it just makes it really nice.
And everyone in the chat, I have privately sent Eric the link, so he is going to post it properly because obviously I guess I didn't. So he's going to fix it for us.
Eric is so good.
Yeah, Eric's
it showed up on my end.
Yeah, I saw it, but that's okay.
I thought it was strange, but it's okay. We can make it happen.
Thank you. Thanks, Eric. This is everybody say hi to Eric. We're gonna make a sewer out of him.
Eric's
all the
best.
lives he moderates for us. All right, so now I'm gonna come over to my machine. And I drew my lines. All right, so there's that one. And I'm just going to feed this one in right behind it. And you may have to kind of overlap your little pieces here. Let me see if I can zoom in. If your pieces kind of overlap and they're not feeding in well, you can just rotate this one around. Then my next one can go in from this direction. And then I'll flip this one over this way. This is how I get all my sewing done so quickly.
Just fly right
that
through.
And you sew at 47 miles an hour.
No, that's slow. That's like a school. That's like a school zone. I'm just kidding. All right. I don't have one in here. I cleaned up my sewing room in my studio, so I don't have it in here. But I have this little tool where a rotary blade sits down in it, and you just sit it on your table and just slice all these pieces apart. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Should I go get it real quick?
You should.
I'll just snip it. But yeah,
I've seen it kind of sets up and you just kind of flick all the stuff through it, right?
Yeah, you just cut your threads right through it. So it's got a rotary blade in it. My friend 3D printed me one and I love it. It's got little grippies on the bottom. All right, so now I can trim all of these down. And I don't know who it was that made the comment earlier, but I just eyeball it.
You're stressing everyone out with that eyeballing stuff.
That's fine. That's fine. I just, Corey, do you use a ruler every time?
Every single time I use the 1/4 inch line on my ruler.
But you like to split all your seams open, and I
do.
Don't care. Look, and they all look fine.
You do you, girl. I'm gonna, yeah.
Have you finished one of your blocks, Corey?
No, I'm adding on the edge piece. I guess I could. I'm doing all 16 at one time, or all the other pieces at one time. Yes. So I'm just flying through it with you.
Where are you at in the process? Like, have you got all of your
so I have those done and they're attached to the sides.
I'm gonna actually let you then show everyone. Do you have another one that you can attach? Show the next step, which is the corner pieces with the pinks.
So that's what I'm about to do right now.
Okay, cool.
So give me just a moment, and once I have those done, then I will do that for you.
Yeah, I would love, because I'm not there yet, and that would kind of.
Yeah, I can do that for you. Let
me. One whole block.
I was chain piecing myself. Bethany, do you use a runner whenever you're piecing?
A runner?
Yeah, like a little piece of
No.
fabric to start off.
No.
No, see,
I've never used a starter or a runner or any of that. I never have. But part of that is
a leader. There you go. Thanks, Sue.
I drop my needle down. A leader, yeah. I drop my needle down into my fabric before I start sewing, so I don't start right off my fabric. I start into my fabric.
Right.
That's just me. So,
do you want me to save one of these pink blocks to do the whole process too? Putting it together, or do you want to do that?
Do you want to do you want to demonstrate the pink block?
I can if you want me
corner? To. Yeah, because you're at that point, and I am still doing these pieces.
Okay. Let me get one of them finished, and then I'll demonstrate the.
Okay, cool.
I'll demonstrate it.
Now, if you guys have any questions, this is again a great time as we're sewing along too with you guys.
Melody, how are you doing?
I'm still cutting. Which fabric is wait, where am I even? Because I lost the light. The eye, which fabric is the eye?
Is it's this one, the little green print.
It's the same, the little print? Okay.
It's the same as E. Half of your E.
Same as for E. Okay.
Half of your E is little green print.
And then J is that white that's all big, right?
Yes, it's the white with the silver dot.
Okay. Thank you. It's not that I wasn't paying attention earlier, it's that I wasn't paying attention earlier. So I missed.
You were looking for fabric that you already had.
I might have been that I already had. Yeah. That I already had.
You were distracted.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. Everything's okay.
Everything's fine. We're fine.
Nothing to see here.
Everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, we are hyper-focused.
We are definitely. But I hope everyone is sewing along with us.
Or cutting along, or
cutting along.
Just know that you can watch the replay.
Yes, which I'm kind of really excited about because I unfortunately won't be here on Friday after all. I have a thing I have to go do. And so I'll have to watch Friday's replay so that I can catch up for Wednesday next week.
That's okay.
But
Corey, are you joining us Friday, or are you teaching something else Friday?
I'm teaching a quiz class on Friday.
So you're just stuck with me. You
guys are all stuck with just Bethany, and tell her to slow down if you need her. You need her to. That's my advice for Friday. Tell her to slow down. She sews too fast.
Bethany, how many of those are you making? Great question. So for one of these blocks, you're going to need to make 2 of these for each side. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So I already did 2, so I'm piecing together the other 6 all at once to make it go a little faster. Except I trimmed the thread on that one, that first one, instead of chain piecing because I forgot.
This is so just kind of cathartic and relaxing.
Corey, there's a question for you.
So happy.
Linda, how do you join a quiz class? I bought all the stuff. Great question, Linda. So the one that I'm doing right now is it's an in-person class at a quilt shop down south of Houston. But I'm going to start offering virtual ones as well. So just keep an eye out. And you can join our newsletter at Linda's Electric Quilters, and we'll post all the information there. But we'll have some virtual sessions coming up in the spring.
I need that. Because I got your whole system, and I need I need a class.
Okay, I told you. We also all. I mean, yes, I was saying you can just come over whenever.
I'll just
Well, I
come
think
over.
we
I'll
need to just go to Texas and then
You
take
still have
one.
to go to the Christmas store.
I still have to go to the Christmas store. I haven't gone this year yet.
Yeah,
So
you have to go.
although I did go to Keisha, I don't know if you remember the name of the place. I dragged Keisha to a store outside of Houston to go buy more Christmas stuff. Is it Kirkland's or Kirkland's or something like that?
Kirkland's?
Probably
store?
Kirkland's.
Yeah.
Yes. So we went there on our day off between festival and market on the way to Galveston. And what did she call it? No, Keisha, Randall's was Randall's was the other store we went to. Randall's was the grocery store, I think. But Kirkland's, I think it was. Anyway, I just want you all to know, for the record, for those of you that follow us and watch our lives and know how much Keisha makes fun of me for how much Christmas stuff I get everywhere I go. I just want you all to know that when we were at Kirkland's, Keisha bought Christmas ornaments for her tree at her house.
The tree that you put up for her?
The tree that I'll decorate for her, yes, but she did buy the stuff. Just for the record.
Proud of you, Keisha.
And it's going to be so cute. We make a Grinch tree at her house.
She just said she was just looking at her MX statement.
Oh. Well, then Randall's wasn't the grocery store either. Randall's was the other store.
Now everybody's Googling Randall's in Houston.
Yeah, Google Randall's. You guys might be able to guess what Randall's near Galveston is. But it's not the Christmas store and it's not the grocery store. I think. It could have been the grocery store, but I think it's not.
Y'all are fun. I have to say, Bethany, you missed out on the riot that Keisha and Melody, the Houston Festival, girl.
Oh, I know. They're always
especially that last day, Corey. That last day when we were all like, we had all just kind of had it, and we were all just loony toony around the whole place. It was so fun though. Corey kept like bringing people over, and we kept bringing people over there, and we were throwing products at him. He would yell because they were just kitty corner from us. So he was like, I need another clamp, and we'd just throw them. It was pretty funny.
I didn't miss that.
It was good. It was good times.
It was good times.
It was good times.
As it should be. As it should be. Was it busy?
Festival was actually
I mean, all the
good.
days were busy. The last day, not so much. The last day was pretty tame compared to the rest of the days, but it was great fun. It was super busy. We got to see so many awesome people. Paulina, Corey, remind me, was there from Australia demonstrating the quiz system at Corey's booth right across from us, and I kept staring at her because I kept wanting to go over there and watch her do a demo, but I couldn't leave the booth. And so I kept trying to stare from far away, which isn't good for me, but I tried.
The last day was hilarious because Melody and Keisha wanted to look around at a few things, and I was like, Melody, just leave me the payment system. And she comes back, and I'm checking out people for stuff. And I was like, I don't even work here. I was like, I don't even work here, guys, but I can tell you all the cool stuff about their products.
I was like, here's my phone, and he's like, oh, I just hit this. Okay, cool. That'll be however much dollars, and they just forked over their credit cards right to Corey. So it was pretty funny.
He has a very trusting face.
He does.
Thanks.
I wouldn't trust it, but he had no, just kidding. Just kidding.
Eric said confirmation Randall's is a grocery store.
Okay, then it was the grocery store. Thank you for double checking that. There was one other store we went to that we won't have to talk about now that we know what Randall's is. We'll find.
Now we're curious.
Well, we
got on the fun part of Houston.
Well, we had a day in between the two, And we just wanted to get out of Houston. We just wanted to get out of downtown where the convention center is. We just needed to like have a different scene. So we went out to Galveston Bay and just got a hotel room one night out there so we could look out over the bay, hang out at the pool a little bit. And like we had to stop at the liquor store. Like, what else are you going to do out there at the beach? So
Gotta get a little.
That was the other store.
Drinky poo.
That's what we did.
Okay. Bethany, they look so cute when you add the little pink pieces onto them.
Okay, isn't the way that the pink pieces come together really cool?
I think it's really interesting, yeah.
I thought so too the first time I did it, and I was like, holy cow, that's really cool. Okay, do you have one of the little pink squares that you can demonstrate?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my stuff put together.
And then we'll piece them together and
have these.
If not, I can do it.
No, I've got, they're just, all my stuff, here they are, I found it. All my stuff is stacked up together in a massive pile. Like whenever I tilt the camera down for everyone to see this, it's going to be a production and a choice. Let's just say that.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
Let's grab all these out. Okay. That's not the right one, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. All right, Bethany, I think I am, well, I'm ready, I think.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Okay. So again, guys, this is what it looks like. This is the chaos that ensues when I'm in charge of things. So this is what's going to happen. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to show you step 7 in the little runner that we're doing. So the first thing that we are going to take is one of our J squares. And we're going to have that right side up. So those little tiny gray pieces that are there are going to be pointing up towards you. And I'm going to start with one of my G squares, which is the little tiny pink one that we cut. Now this is the very light pink. And the way that I am looking at this is me looking at this, I'm going to put it right sides together at the bottom right corner. Okay. And you can do kind of what Bethany showed you. You can take a ruler and go from point to point of that and draw a line. And that's the line that you're going to stitch across. Or if you have the laser like I have on mine, I'm going to stitch right down that. So give me just a second. I'm going to hop over to my machine and do that. And I don't have another camera up here, so I do apologize. But I'm going to put on my open toe foot so I can see, or just a regular sewing foot works. And I'm going to stitch from point to point on that 45-degree line. Let's see if I can turn the camera to see that. Oh, no, other way. Oh,
and you're going to make 4 of these for each block.
Correct.
So a total of 16 of these.
So when I stitch that line, once I have that line stitched, I am going to use my template because I don't trust myself like Bethany does to cut. So I'm going to use my template and just match up the 1/4 inch line marking on my template with that stitching line that I just did. And I'm going to trim off the excess to the right. So I'll have this little piece like this, and I'm going to have that facing downward like it is. And what I mean by that is I'm going to just leave that the same way it was, and I'm going to grab my iron and just flip up that piece of fabric and press that over. And that's the way that your seam is going to be pressed. So it's going to just press out that direction. And we're going to be having this little section so far. Super adorable, just like this, okay? So we've got that one. Now we are going to grab our H square, which is a larger version of that pink blush section. And we're going to set that at, if I'm looking at my square, now this is upside down for y'all, but if I'm looking at my square, the small pink was at the bottom right. Our H square is going to go at the top left. So we're going to match those points up to the top left right here. And then you can either draw a line or you're going to use your laser and follow that. So then I'm going to stitch from point to point on this. Now, what I would do, since, like Bethany said, we're making 16 of these, I would do all of the small pink ones and chain piece those all together and press. So there's like, I already have my stack of all of them right here. That way you don't have to bounce back and forth between your pressing and your ironing and your cutting and your sewing. You can do them all at one time, which is really convenient.
I'm doing all 4 for one block.
Oh, that's smart.
Since I'm just building one block today on the live.
Yeah.
And I'll do the rest off camera.
All right, so we've done that point to point. I'm going to grab my flip and fold. What I love about this flip and fold, and I've got the 36, and I have the, what's the larger one, guys? I have the larger one at home too.
48.
48, okay. But I love this, for, especially because I travel a lot, or like I'm always in tight spaces. I'm never really always in my studio. But just to be able to flip and open it to certain sizes to fit whatever my area is fantastic. So I've got that.
That's the best thing about it. It's so great.
It's so good. It's so versatile too. It's just you got to figure out which direction there is to flip it, but there's a QR code that you can scan and it will tell you all about how to flip it and everything like that, so you get the best use of it. So once we have that set,
and once you have a handle on it, it's super easy.
Oh, I'll have to get a lesson from you.
It will only fold in one direction.
Well, yeah, but then there's people like me that just start flipping it all over the place.
Try forcing it. That's not.
Don't do that, Corey. I know. I need to channel my inner y'all and do better, but here we are. Okay. So I'm going to line up my 1/4 inch line again, and I'm going to trim off this excess to the right. Now, what I might use these for later on, and I don't know what you guys think. There's a lot of these extra pieces of square triangles that we cut off. I think I'm going to put them together and use these for different blocks in future projects.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, make all sorts of different ones.
Yeah, save those bigger triangle cutoffs.
Same thing.
Sure. Especially if you measure and cut them like with a ruler, and if you go willy-nilly like me, they won't all be the same size, but that's okay.
Same thing on this one, guys. Whenever you are ironing, just lay that flat, and then you'll flip the pink back with your iron. Give that a good press. And then we're going to work on our next piece. So last part of this one. This is the really cool part. I really like this.
Yeah.
So last part of this one.
This kind of blew my mind because I've never pieced anything together like this before with this part of the block. And I was like, oh, I really like that.
It's just a little interesting little flair that it's going to give, which is fun. So the last piece that we're going to do is we're going to grab our piece I, which is going to be the little tiny greens with the cute pink flowers. Okay. And when you're looking at this block, you've got your small pink in the bottom right, and you've got your big pink at the top left. You're going to set this piece right sides together at the top left again. So we're going to line that right up with the top left.
On top of the big pink piece, right?
Correct. On top of that big pink piece. So it'll look like this. And we are going to stitch from point to point as well. So remember, you can draw a line or you can follow it on your machine. And this is where the fun and the magic starts to happen. Another pro tip, make sure the thread is in your needle if you want to stitch.
Say that again?
I said, pro tip, make sure the thread is in your needle if you want to do some stitching.
Oh, that does help.
We all have our things.
The thread isn't optional, and I've just been air sewing. Cool.
I know. Thread is not optional for this project. Everything's fine. We're fine. We're not live. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
That's when it always happens.
Every time. All right, there we go. So line this up again and stitch.
So because that green square is smaller than that pink square, that's how you get the little stripey.
The little stripe of pink. It's like a little peekaboo.
Yeah.
A little peekaboo
stripe. Cute.
So we'll put that back on our mat after we've cut that. Line everything up. Again, 1/4 inch cut away from that seam line that you just stitched. So line this up, give myself a cut. And then when I press this open, this is where it is so freaking cute. All right. So same way, flip that open with your press. Give that a good hold. And then the block that we get from this is right here. Look how cute.
Fun.
It's so
cute.
adorable.
So cute.
So Louise said, I was thinking you had to sew that little strip separate. Nope. That's the
Nope.
magic of sewing.
Me too, Louise. Me too, Louise. I was scared of that coming up to that. Me too.
I'm actually going to show it one more time because it's a little different. So how we made these pieces is similar to how you make these pieces. You have squares on top of squares to make triangles. And so I'm going to do the same. And it's right? Is your little green print. And I'm going to need 4 of these to get around this block. I'm going to need, because I did all 4. Yeah. All right. So here's your block with the 2 pinks. You're going to take your green, just like he did, put it over the big pink. And so corner to corner. And then when you stitch and flip, it's called a stitch and flip. That's how you get that pink strip. So anyways, it's just a really fun construction for this. I'm going to draw my little line here.
Yeah, when I was first looking at this project, whenever we first opened it up, I was like, I don't know how I feel about putting that tiny little strip in there.
Yeah.
But just an easy to go technique with the little stitch and flip.
It is. Well, and a lot of their projects include stitch and flip method.
Yeah.
And some people find that it feels a little wasteful because you're cutting all of this excess off. But to your point, you can save that and work that into another block. So it doesn't have to be wasteful. It's just a different method of doing it and saves on cutting so many more tiny pieces.
Right.
All right, so there's that. I've trimmed off my excess. You can save these pieces because what he's talking about is you could stitch these together and make a new block that's small and do a really fun little scrappy project if you wanted to.
I love that.
Press that open, and there's your little pink and green block.
So
these
cute.
go into the corners. So let's start building out what that's going to look like because we're almost done building our first block together. So if you have any questions, this is a great time to ask. But let's start building these blocks. Angela, thank you for saying that. All right, so here's the centerpiece. We've got our little borders here. Let me zoom out. Oh, wrong one. I've got to start labeling my remotes because I have two of these remotes, one for each of my cameras, and they're identical. So we're going to start building out this block. I always like to lay things out and make sure I've sewn everything correctly. And I can tell you right now, I'm putting this on wrong, so I got to flip these around. I'm not looking at the picture. There we go. So that's the right way. Now, this little piece is what goes into these 4 corners. And it goes in and looks like this. So it'll go like this. Just like that. It's a little pop of pink to really highlight the points. And what's nice about it is you're not having to line up points right here with these dark greens. It kind of just sneaks in a little lower. It makes it a little easier. So you're going to have one here, one here, one here, and one here. And the pink triangle is going into the corner here. So that is your block. So Corey, you've already sewn up what the next step is, right? And that would be taking and making up. So this is where you're going to build your rows.
Right. Trying to finish off this last one.
No,
to show
you're
you what it would
fine.
look
Take your
like.
time. I'm still finishing up my corner pieces anyway, so we can finish this block together.
Perfect. Cool.
Guys, I just want to say I just finally finished cutting.
Yay! It takes a
Yay!
little while. It takes a little while. There's a lot of pieces. And
There's a
keeping all
lot
the
of
fabrics,
pieces.
keep all the fabrics organized. It's different. It's very different than the one we did this summer that came with pre-cut pieces.
Yeah,
You
when we were talking about which ones we wanted to sew along, Bethany, I think maybe in the future we should like decide to pick ones that have that part because I loved that part. That was great.
Our November one does have a layer cake that comes with it for a lot of the fabric, which is really helpful. So we won't have to cut as much for that one. I hope. I haven't made it yet. Don't quote me on that.
We will not promise anything, but we will hope.
An idea with shapes would be a scrappy Christmas tree since it is triangles. Yes.
Oh, yeah. That would be really cute.
So cute.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
That'd be fun, like a fun gift too.
Mm-hmm.
Like little coasters or pot holders or something.
Bethany and Corey, I have a question for you. And I think you said this before, but again, I don't know if I was paying attention to that part. So I've cut all that I think I'm supposed to cut. And I have my little tags for what they all are. The little holly and the berries with the grayish background, we didn't cut yet, right?
Nope. That is for your border.
And then the plaid one is for our binding, right?
Correct.
Right.
Yes. Then I did it right. Woohoo!
You did it.
Yay.
I'm so proud of myself.
We celebrate those wins.
Yes.
It's a lot of pieces. It's a lot of pieces. But this is traditional quilting in its finest. At its, you know what I mean? Like utilizing all these fabrics and everything. I mean, it's just
I love it.
It's fun. It's fun to see all these bigger pieces of fabric get cut up into smaller pieces and then stitched back together to create something new. I just love this process.
Yeah, I did it.
Did you fussy cut your little center squares, these pieces?
I sure did. I picked a deer.
Hold on. I want you to hold up which ones you picked. I'm going to make you the bigger camera.
Okay, so I picked the pink deer because the little pink is so cute. I picked the mittens. I picked the house.
Cute.
I picked the Christmas tree. And then I picked the little Santa that's holding that little scraggly tree because I thought that was so cute.
There was a Santa? I miss Santa.
Well, I don't know if it's a Santa or if it's an elf or I think it's a Santa holding a Christmas tree in a pot.
You got
that
a
one.
Santa?
Isn't it a Santa?
Oh, it is a Santa.
Am I crazy?
How did you miss him?
Okay.
Am I crazy? Hold on. Where's he at?
I'm like, he's
right
kind of by the bells and the candy canes and an X.
Oh.
He's just this tiny little guy that's like
Cute.
He's smaller. I'm also
he's
just
like
now
this
seeing the
tiny little guy.
He's so
I didn't even see
cute.
The candy canes are super cute.
I should have done some candy canes, but yeah, there's so many cute ones to choose from.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what everybody else picks for their center ones. Corey, did you share which ones you picked?
No, I did not.
Ooh, do tell.
So I picked, and now remember, I did not fussy cut mine correctly, but I like the way I did it, so I'm happy. I picked the presents.
Cute.
Nice. Hold on, let me switch your camera.
Okay.
There we go.
I did there we are. The presents. You have to do the snowman because Frosty's adorable. Did the snowman.
Yes. I tried to do the snowman, but I got too close with my other stuff and I didn't have enough space. He's so cute.
I did the Christmas tree with the little pink ornaments and pink presents. I think was the cutest thing. And then last but not least, my inner Bethany, I had to go for the little pink deer.
Yeah.
Had to. We love the pink deer. So
We do. We do. I love it. I love how we all pick something different.
Yeah.
That's what's
But we all
so
picked
fun
the
about
deer.
we all,
picked
well,
the
I mean,
deer.
that's like a rite of passage. I feel like it's just the cutest thing. It ties in the pink with the other little hints of pink. I just think it's so cute.
Yeah.
All right, so here is my full block. Okay. So here it is, all of its pieces. How fun is that? How cute is this? So now we need to take all of these pieces and stitch them together. And my preferred method is in rows across. So I'm going to fold these in and fold this in and stitch. And then that'll be one row. I'll do the same here. Fold this in, stitch. That'll be my second row. And then I'll do my third row. Once I have all my rows, then I will stitch across my rows, and then your block is done. Corey, do you have a different method that you used, or is that kind of the same?
Same way.
Say, oh, look at us. I always ask because there's so many different ways of doing things, right?
Oh yeah, totally. No, we're on the same brainwave on that one.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at us go. Oh my gosh.
Now, whenever you put your full row together, Bethany, this is another point when the glue comes in, just chef's kiss.
Yeah?
Yeah, because like once you go back to your main screen, I'll show you.
Oh, go ahead. Here,
Okay.
I'll switch it. I'll
Okay.
switch you. There you go.
So when I'm putting, let's see if I can hold, actually, let me put this on the wool so it stays still. But when I'm putting my pieces together, I always had an issue, even when I was pinning or when I was using clips, that I would get a little bit of shifting in those points. And just because my type A OCD comes out when I'm doing this, I have, well, I'll just lose that one, it's fine. But when those points need to match in that specific section right there, if you put a little dab of that glue in that seam line, whenever you match those and you hold it for just a second, whenever you stitch, that point is not moving. So I know for a fact I can just keep going without a problem. Yep. So I'll put a little dab of glue and I'll hold up the block so you can see where I mean, because you don't have to, it doesn't take a whole lot. But this is I don't know if you can see that, but right there is that little dab of glue. It looks like it's part of the fabric, but just that little dab right there in that point, and then same one in that point right there.
Yeah.
Then when I nest up those rows together, lay them together, nest them in, I can put those right there. There we go. And I'm just going to press and hold right there on those points with my thumb and my pointer finger, and just put a little bit of pressure on that for just a second. Again, if you want to heat set it, you can with your iron if you've got that nearby. But then when I've got that done and that's held together, then I can just have all of these sitting off to the side. And then when I want to do a whole stack at the machine, if I want to do that, it's going to keep those points from shifting. So I'm even give it a quick heat set too. So set and set. And I can whip this around everywhere, and you can see the glue is holding in those points exactly where they need to be. And so now when I go over to stitch it, when I open that up after it's ironed, those points are going to be chef's kiss perfect.
That's awesome. I love that.
Now say the name of the glue one more time, and if you want to drop a link again, Eric has your link to drop in the chat.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's the Roxanne Glue Based It. There's a bunch of other glues on the market, and I know a lot of people use like sometimes Elmer's and stuff like that, but that craft glue is not really made for fabric, and sometimes if you heat set it, it can not do great things for your fabric. So getting a glue that is made for fabric and is water soluble, just I'd spend the extra dollars and just get it. It's well.
I mean, when
worth
you
it.
spend that much time and money on the fabric and the quilting and, and everything, like you don't want to skip on some of those other things.
Right. Julie, you're so welcome. Thank you. We're so happy that you're here.
All right, I am sewing up my rows, and then we'll sew up our rows together, and then we'll be done with our first block.
Woohoo!
And remember, you can watch the replay of this and skip to the parts that you need help with. We've covered a lot today. And then you can sew along later when you're ready. And take your time. I love the sound of our machine. I think the sound of a sewing machine is so therapeutic.
It's so soothing.
Marissa said, what is the long thing at the end of the glue? Oh, wonderful question, Marissa. So the glue bottle comes with 2 different tips, but this is I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little tip that clips on so you can get the piece right into where you need to put the little dab of glue in. Pro tip on this is your glue likes to dry because that's, what it's meant to do. So I keep a little pin with me, just a standard sewing pin, and I put that in the end of the tip so that way it keeps that in there. So whenever the glue dries, it just dries on that pin, and when you pull it out, you pull out the dry glue, and it's good to keep going.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
I've had one too many demonstrations where it dries in the little needle, and then that looks weird. So just keep the little needle in there when you're not using it. I'm sorry, Bethany, you said something. I cut you off.
Oh, no, I was saying that was so smart because I want it to get dry in that tiny little, it would be hard to get it out.
Right, exactly.
Once it dries in there. So to do that with smart.
Thanks, buddy.
I am pressing my seams open. So when I start joining, Corey, pieces like together, that's when I start pressing seams open.
Yeah.
So let me switch to my overhead. So now where I've joined these 3 pieces together, or 4 pieces together, all those seams are pressed open, but all my other ones are folded to one side.
Do you want to take over the larger camera so they can see that?
Yeah. Oh, Eric switched it for me, and then I switched it. Sorry, guys. Thanks, Eric. So when I build each of these pieces, I press the seams to one side, and this is just my preferred method. So you can see how all my seams are laying nice and flat here. But when I go to join 2 pieces, I will press those seams open because typically I'm joining this to something else and I need to kind of nest my seams, which is where I'm going to kind of have these split seams, and it helps eliminate bulk. So I'm still working on pressing, but as soon as I'm done pressing, I can show you what I mean by that. Whew.
This has been so much fun, you guys. Just to have some time to ourselves to dedicate to sewing. It's so therapeutic.
That's the part I love about this the most. Yeah.
Because I turned off my emails, my phone's on Do Not Disturb. This is wonderful.
Yep.
We should do this every day.
Agreed.
We should do this every day. Let's do it every day.
We say that every time.
We do say that every time.
I wish we could just always sew for work and
Honestly.
not have to do other work. How do we get that job?
I don't know. We'll get there.
I would just sew and teach every day if I could. If you guys keep enjoying these sew-alongs, then we'll do more and more of them. And then that can be my job.
We have a sew-along every week.
That's all I do is sew-alongs. Imagine how much sewing I would get done.
Oh my
Sue
gosh.
says,
I know,
yes,
right?
Every day. Every day. Oh my goodness. All right, almost done. I know we've been on here for a while, but it's gone by really fast.
It has gone by really fast. I keep looking at the clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, we've been here for that long? But it doesn't feel like it.
I know, I just looked at it and couldn't believe it's been that long because it's so therapeutic to cut stuff like this.
Well, and we're having fun. But we are covering a lot in part 1. because I know people are going to want to work ahead, and I want to get you guys to a point where you're not having to do so much over the weekend, or you have all the information you need to do all of it over the weekend. I keep turning these the wrong way. Okay. So it almost looks like it's stitched together already because my rows are done, but now I need to attach each of these rows to the main block, the center part. And so I am going to put it right sides together. And because I opened my seams here, excuse me, I have hiccups in here, they're what's called nested. I'm actually gonna zoom in. Okay. So right sides together. I'm the worst at remembering to trim my threads. Do better than me. All right. They become one with my quilt. I don't care. So because I split my seams open, or I press them open on both sides of this, here and here, that they now lay flat right next to each other. Again, you can use the straight pin method to stick through one side and then the other. So you can, it's kind of hard to do it holding it up. So I'm going to so sticking this straight through from the top. My pin is going straight through between the seam of the red and the green, which makes it really easy to see. And when I flip it over, it's coming out on the white side, not the in between the white and the green. So that means that they're not lined up perfectly. So I'm going to kind of back it out, shift that over, stick it back through. And not stab myself like I just did. Okay. So now it's coming through right between those, the pink and the green, and right between the red and the green. And that is basically telling me, like, yeah, these are lined up. And when I open these up, these points are going to be matched up. Or you could do like Corey does with the glue, which sounds pretty good right now since I just stabbed myself with that.
Yep.
I think you don't stab yourself so much with the glue, right?
No, you just glue your fingers together.
You just glue your fingers together.
Which sounds less painful.
It is.
Less painful than, or you can use the clip method, which is what I'm a big fan of because you can't really hurt yourself with those. So when I do the clip method, it allows me to open it up and see right where I clipped that these line up, which is why I really like the clip method, because with my pen, it doesn't really, I can't check it. So I just clip right into it. And then, yeah, I unclipped it. And then I could tell that it's a perfect match.
Did you see what Eric just put in the chat?
Team Sticky Fingers or Team Stab? Eric, you're a nut. Can't take him anywhere.
I was not ready.
He is here for the comedy.
He
missed his calling.
He needs to join us live one of these days. We need to get him on camera.
He sure does. I think he was on at the end of one of our days of the Handmade Collective because Nathan just brought him on screen and he was not prepared. He just did it and he was like, okay. Hi, everybody.
That is a stressful moment when you get popped on screen when you're ill prepared for it.
And you've never been on screen before and it's our big event.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was called funny. Initiation.
Yep. And he didn't run for the hills and he stayed with us. So
he's still here, guys. He's still here.
We didn't scare him off by doing that.
I went ahead and pinned my top piece on, but I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom one. And then that way I can sew down one side, flip over and sew down the other. He said, I was in shock, a deer in the headlights. Yeah. That was funny. Louise says she's team stab for sure. So she prefers pins and stabbing her fingers.
When I got my first little set of clips, my dad came up while I was sewing. I got my first set of clips when we did my first quilt, when we did the sew along in the summertime. And he came up and he was like, what are those? What are those? And I'm like, look what these can do. And we both were thinking the same thing. My mother would have loved those clips because she always wore a thimble on her fingers when she would sew, because she would always jab herself. So she would always wear these heavy, stainless metal thimbles
But she
and
also
she would have
did a
loved
lot
the
of hand
clips.
sewing.
She did do a lot of hand sewing. She did a lot of hand sewing, but I think she still would have used the clips because she would hand sew her binding
Yeah,
on, and
for
she would just
holding it
kind of
together.
fold it over as she went. Yeah, she would have loved that.
You guys, I finished my block.
Yay!
Oh, hold it up. I'm right behind you.
Hello. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see it. There it is.
Yay!
So cute.
So
And again,
good.
my fussy cutting is at an angle, but what's going to happen with all of mine is they're just going to rotate back and forth, so it's going to kind of look like a fun merry-go-round of animals and
I love
stuff.
And it'll look intentional. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a design choice.
Yes, exactly. That's amazing.
Yay.
We are finishing up.
Oh, your microphone.
I just want to say, my microphone's what?
It's all being
Oh,
all
it's better
weird.
now. It got really, you
Oh.
sounded like a robot.
Yeah, I turned around, like it got stuck for a second there. But anyway, I just want to remind you guys all to come back on Friday. Bethany is going to continue our Sewalong on Friday at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. So please join us for that. Our Fall Fest promotion is still going on. So check that out. Go to our website and go to the Fall Fest page and check out all the packages that are put together. The thing that's so great about all of our products is they all work together, but so you can mash up the different packages to do different things, but we kind of set it up this time in packages. So if you like to do applique, everything you need for applique is in one package. If you like to do embroidery, that's all in one package. Sewing, traveling, what's the other one? Oh, well, there's an all-in package, and then there's a paper crafting package. So all of them are there. And I just want to say, guys, if you get one of the packages, you will automatically get, now that we fixed the system because I had to go in the back end and figure it out, free fat quarter bundle bags. Now, depending on how big of a package you're getting, you get 1, 2, 3, or 5 free fat quarter bundle bags. And yes, if you want fat quarter bundle bags, you can buy them right now on their own. Put in 2 into your cart if you want to get 1, because then 2 are going to show up to your house for paying for 1. That's my little secret of the day. But they're just the best things to store your stuff. If you're going to a retreat like Bethany does, or if you're going to a show, or if you just like to keep things put away by project, this is so great to do. I'm so excited because I have a fat quarter bundle, this one up here, that this Christmas fat quarter bundle here that I already have a project in mind for, that has some stencils and some patterns and some templates that I can put all in the bag with the thread that I'm going to use and keep it all together, so that when I do go to Keisha's house and teach her how to sew, we can make it, because it'll all be in the bag. So the fat quarter bundle bags are super fun. And they're really, really good Christmas gifts. We had so much fun passing these out in Houston, and when we ran out of them, it was tragic. People were very sad when they came back to buy their light boards and we no longer had the fat quarter bundle bags. That was very sad for some people. So check them out. Go look at all the photos. Like, they're so fun. The fat quarter bundle bags are just great. So those are available for a limited time, but they're available right now while supplies last, as we like to say. And join our next Sewalong. We're going to be doing it next month on the 12th. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I think the kid is starting to mow the lawn out the windows over here, so I apologize if you guys can hear that. Our neighbor mows the lawn for us. He's a great kid. But this is the one. It's way up here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I put it up here. This is our next Sewalong. We still have a dozen or so of these left. For those that want to join us next month, it's bigger. It's an actual quilt instead of a runner, right, guys? It's an actual quilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A throw size, I think.
54.
Yeah. So, and it's Christmassy. It's so Christmassy. I'm so excited.
And
It's gonna be so fun.
And it's got applique.
Yes. There's applique as well as piecing, right? As well as regular quilting and applique.
Oh yeah.
involved.
It's got a lot. So we're actually doing our last Sewalong for anyone who it's their first time to do it. So we definitely will be covering all the bases again, but we'll be going over applique heavily. because applique is such a fun thing to add into your quilting, and add new dimensions and elements. So I think you guys are really going to love it. The fabrics are really fun, and I also have some fun ideas of how to even level it up more with like decorating your applique with like adding buttons or decorative stitching, and we've got all sorts of things we're going to talk about. So it's going to be a really fun one.
I'm really excited about that. I saw Keisha's what to teach her how to sew. I need to bring all those things. I'm thinking that perhaps it might be easier for Keisha to just bring her sewing machine here.
Yeah, you guys could set up together.
We might should make that plan instead.
Well,
and
here is my finished block.
Yay!
So cute.
So now to do this 3 more times. But have fun with it. I will admit that like these 2 corners right here, these 2 points look great. My other ones are not so great. But this is such a busy print that you can't tell. And when you get it all pieced together and you make it into one big runner and you have it all lined up like this, it doesn't matter. All right.
Yeah. It looks so good.
So next week oh my gosh, on Friday, we're going to take all 4 of your blocks, because you're going to make all 4 of these, and we're going to piece them together, make the border, and add the border to this and finish the entire top. And then the following week on Wednesday, we'll make the quilt sandwich, we'll quilt it and bind it. And so for Friday, today's probably going to be our longest sew along part, because we're at 2.5 hours. Friday will be much shorter, but we just wanted to get as much done as we possibly could. And I know, Corey, you were saying how I quilted mine, when we'll go over this later, but I did like 1/2 inch.
Do you want to say hi? Do you want to
come? And it kind of made it look like a Christmas present. So I just thought that this was really a fun way to quilt it, which we'll talk about other ways to do it next week. So
really cute.
There you go. There you have
it.
Thank you guys for joining. Melody, Corey, thank you for hanging out today and going through a whole block.
I'm so sad. So sad I won't be there on Friday. Corey, good luck with your class on Friday, but I'll be back next week on Wednesday, because I need to learn how to quilt from Corey. So I'll be back for that for sure.
Yeah. So Friday, you're stuck with me. We're going to just, like I said, put our blocks together, make our border. It's a very scrappy border, and then put that on. It'll be a much faster class. And then on Wednesday next week, we'll have another probably longer class, because we're going to go over sandwiching, quilting, and binding. So that's also why I haven't bound this one yet, because I'm going to quilt this one and bind this one. And I can show both without having to do the whole thing. So, oh yeah, it's going to be me and Eric on Friday. Maybe I'll bring him.
I think Eric, be ready to pop on camera, because Bethany will need someone to chat with.
Comb your hair that day and brush your tooth, and be ready to hang out with us on camera Friday. I may have you just pop in. I think everybody would love to see you, because they chat with you so much in the chat.
Yes.
You're welcome, Sue. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're enjoying the tips. You're not a newbie anymore, Louise. And
that's true. Louise finished her one this summer, so she's all the way in now. She's like me. She's diving all the way in head first now. Yep.
Yeah, totally. So I'm really proud of you guys. What I would love for you all to do, and Melody, you have to do this too, but once you get your first block done, or one of the 4, take a picture and post it in our Facebook group, the CutterPillar Creations Hub Facebook group. I want to see your first block. It doesn't have to be perfect. Look, I'll even show you mine right here. Look at this. It is far from perfect. Here's my block. And look, I am off here. This one's way off over here. It's fine. It's fine.
Don't point them out.
I am, because I want you to see that even after 35 years of sewing, it's still not perfect every time. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And we'll trim these up and make them look really nice, and we'll sew them together. So it's okay if you've got a little off out here, like my fabric kind of stretched right here. That's fine. It's going to happen. But yeah, it's just give yourself some grace. We're going for completion, not perfection. And I would love for
Right.
you, if you feel comfortable doing it, take a photo of your finished block and post it in our group. And we'd love to, and it's not for critique or anything. It's literally just to cheer you on and to make everybody else jealous who didn't get a kit and isn't getting to do this with us. That's it. And then they're going to want to come hang out with us for the November Sewalong. But truthfully, I would love to see your blocks and congratulate you on that achievement. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, been sewing a long time, it's just fun to do it with a group. And that's why we do these fun sew-alongs. So please share if you want to. If you haven't joined our Facebook group, please go over there and do that. And Eric and I one of us will approve you to join. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with us. We're done for today. It was a lot.
Such a fun afternoon. Thank you. Yesterday was such a crazy work day. We had 800,000 meetings yesterday. And so this was such a fun work day afternoon. Yeah. But work day afternoon for this was it brought my anxieties and my chillax and my heart rate down today. This was amazing. Yes.
What made me feel better was putting up my Christmas decorations. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. I had so much fun with that. I had lots of fun with that too. I'm thinking over here by the light switch so I can get another tree.
You absolutely could. I see a window of opportunity. All right, for that. Corey, thank you so much for your time.
Corey, it's so good to see you. Thank you.
It's good to see you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting you use their house to join us.
They're fine. They're back. I think they're on the back patio hanging out. I don't know what they're doing.
Go enjoy it. We'll see you guys. I'll be back here Friday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 2 p.m. Central, and we're going to finish this up. And then you have all weekend and into next week to get caught up before we come back on Wednesday and finish these up. And y'all, you will have a Christmas project done before Halloween. You're going to be ahead of everybody else, and you're going to want to show it off, and I cannot wait. So there you go. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Now, Linda says if you make 5 blocks, that will give you the one for the pillow. Correct, Linda. That is absolutely correct. You can save it for a pillow, or if you have a longer table, you can add it in to this table runner. It's up to you, or you can make it a little mini table topper if you want instead of a pillow, or you don't have to do the 5th block if you don't want to, but at least get the ones for your table runner done, which is 4. Okay. All right. See you guys Friday. Have a good night and bye.
Thanks, guys.